Raucous applause for one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to have ever graced the hallowed turf, and tributes will be paid, no doubt, up and down the country this weekend. Brazil at the start of a 3-day mourning period for their favourite son. An emotional occasion, no doubt, for Lucas Paquetá, who played for Brazil at the World Cup in Qatar tonight. His job is to help West Ham get their sorry season back on track. West Ham with Fabianski in goal, a back three of Dawson, Ogbonna and Cresswell, Sofal and Emerson the wing-backs, Rice and Paquetá in midfield, with Benrahma and Bowen either side of Skamaka up front. For Brentford, about to get us underway, Raya the goalkeeper, Zanka, Pinnock and me in front of him, Rorislev and Henry are the wing-backs, with Jensen, Norgard and De Silva in midfield, then Burmo and Tony up front. Brentford all in black, shooting from right to left in this first half on Talksport 2. West Ham in their claret jerseys, sky blue shorts and claret socks, and straight away Vladimir Sofal plays it down the line to Bowen. He's been dispossessed by me and then given away rather cheaply by Jensen, and here is Paquetá driving into the Brentford half and side-foots the ball out to the left-hand side. Emerson with a chance to cross, instead comes back in field for Paquetá. Skamaka wearing the number 7 jersey, he is waiting for the ball to come into the penalty area, away to our right. Brentford with everybody camped back behind the ball, and already the respective managers Thomas Frank and David Moyes, who will be feeling the heat this evening, out on the edge of their technical areas. And it's Paquetá with the ball forward, overhit, and a goal kick for Brentford. David Conley.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could have put the ball in the box there. I mean, Skamaka's just put his arm up there as if to say, you know, why didn't you cross it? To be honest, they only really had Skamaka and Bowen just about making the box, and I think certainly if West Ham are going to score goals, they're going to need more than 2 in the box. And actually just serve the front, put it in. Don't know why they waited too long there. West Ham, opportunity missed.
I wonder if to some extent David Moyes is almost victim of his own success. West Ham have had successive good seasons in the Premier League. They have half as many points now as they did at this stage last season when they were flying high in 4th place in the table. They're also 15 goals worse off, and that is why so many of their supporters have been advocating for a change. But Moyes in defiant mood this week, insists he still has the backing of the club's owners, needs his players to deliver a performance on the pitch tonight. Here is the Czech Sofal down the right hand side for West Ham. He's got 3 claret jerseys ahead of him. Bowen hugging this near touchline and linking up neatly with Benrahma, scorer from the penalty spot against Arsenal away from home on Boxing Day, but in the end that goal to no avail, as Arsenal came storming back to win by 3-1. Live on Talksport, and as Benrahma wants a corner kick, the decision of the assistant referee on this near side is that the last touch was off the Algerian, and it's a goal kick for Brentford. The referee tonight is Darren England, with John Brooks in charge of the video technology at Stockley Park. Don't forget, over on Talksport this evening we have Liverpool against Leicester, and tomorrow game day returns. It all kicks off from Molineux, where Wolves welcome Manchester United, 12:30, live and exclusive to national radio on Talksport. 0-0 here. The ball is played out by Raya, the Brentford goalkeeper, to the right hand side, and Brentford at the moment content just to keep the ball deep inside their own half. We've played 4 minutes, 0-0. You're listening to Talksport 2. Here's Ivan Toney with his first touch of the evening. Those socks rolled down to the ankle for the very much in form Brentford frontman. 9 goals in his last 10 in the Premier League. He got a goal and an assist in a 2-0 home win against West Ham last season. Brentford did a double over the Hammers. Brian and Burmo with the late winner here. But at the moment, David Conley, it's been quite a passive opening from the visitors.
Yeah, I mean, look, West Ham started pretty well, didn't they? You know, on the front foot, 1 possession early, broke into the sort of Brentford box in and around. Didn't get anything from it, but nonetheless started well. And first time we've really seen Brentford on the ball. That back three splitting. Ben Mee playing really, really wide as that left side of the back three. Just allows Rico Henry to push high and wide like a winger. And whenever I see Rico Henry play, he's always terrific.
Yeah, maybe a bit unlucky not to be considered by Gareth Southgate for England's World Cup squad, given that they weren't particularly blessed, the 3 Lions on the left side of defence. I'm sure Rico Henry will be looking to impress Southgate between now and the European Championship in Germany, just 18 months away. As the ball is flicked on by Tony into the West Ham area, away to our left-hand side, and Burmo takes over. Chance for Janelt to drive the ball low to the edge of the box, but intercepted by Rice, and he stretches those long legs and quickly makes his way, the England midfielder, over the halfway line, and it's picked up by Ben Rama, left-hand side for West Ham. Rice picks it up now, 10 yards outside the area, being urged to shoot by the home supporters. Instead, plays it back out to the left, and Emerson. Here's Rice again on the edge of the box. Curls one off the post. Raya was beaten. Declan Rice let fly from fully 25 yards. And West Ham inches away from the early lead.
Yeah, and that's why the fans are urging him to shoot. He could have shot a little bit earlier, couldn't he? Turned it down, eventually got it back, left-hand side of, about 5 yards outside the box, trying to bend this into the far corner.
It's a brilliant effort.
Yeah, just brushed the outside of the post. It was unlucky. That was positive. That all started with Said Benrahma being positive as well, getting the ball out wide, driving, trying to make his way into the Brentford box. That's much more like it.
Yeah, Benrahma starting on the left-hand side, Bowen on the right. Skamaka preferred to Mikel Antonio as the central striker. The ball is at the feet of the grey-shirted Lukasz Fabianski, the Poland international. And he plays it out to the edge of the box, and Craig Dawson. Positive start from West Ham, 6 minutes gone, 0-0. But Declan Rice couldn't have come much closer to opening the scoring. And Dan mentioned the London Stadium, sparsely populated in the build-up to kick-off. Most of those empty seats have now been filled on a crisp and clear night in the East End. West Ham looking to put clear daylight between them and the relegation places. But you have to go back to April 1993 for their only league win in the last 6 attempts against Brentford. Martin Allen, former Brentford manager, was amongst the West Ham goal scorers that afternoon. 0-0 here, but West Ham very much on the front foot, and they are attacking again. Away to our right.
I tell you, it was a good bit of play there. You know, ball came into Bowen, set it back to Soufal, into Skamaka, good touch, held it up, and it worked their way into the Brentford half really well.
And here's Bowen looking to feed Skamaka, intercepted by Ben Mee. Brentford having to work doubly hard to keep West Ham at bay, but Janelt looking to use the pace of Mburmo to spark the counter-attack. Cross came Ogbonna, the Italian, and calmly just regains possession. And we've got a problem here. Here is a West Ham player,
Paquetá,
who has gone down, and it is Paquetá who is in need of some treatment. It was an off-the-ball incident, which is always a concern.
I tell you what, they have started well here. You know, and Brentford, when they've won it back, they've often given it away within a pass or two because they are so deep. And that's how they play Brentford, you know, get 10, 11 behind the ball. It does mean they spring from deep. They can't quite get out of their half at the minute. It's been a really, really good start from the home team. Moved it well. There's a bit of rain earlier, wasn't there? And, you know, the pitch has got a bit of zip on it, so they're passing it pretty quickly, and there's a nice tempo to their play.
Well, as we have a stoppage in play here, let's get back to Ali Pali, the World Championship darts. Paul Nicholson, what's going on?
Thanks, Alex. Yes, we're having a very, very good time here at Alexandra Palace. 2 sets to 1 to Rob Cross as it stands. Chris Dobie's on double 8 and misses for 2-0 in the fourth, but there's so much going on here. Can't wait to give you an update when this set is over. Back to you.
Rob Cross, the former electrician who famously shocked the darting world by winning the World Championship a few years ago. It's West Ham who are trying to provide the electricity here and get the home supporters on their feet. 0-0, Paquetá is able to continue, and it's Fabianski, the veteran goalkeeper, who clears high up into the London sky. Kept alive by Skamaka, but the ball had already gone out of play for a Brentford throw. You are listening to West Ham against Brentford on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Liverpool against Leicester, live right now for £11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports.
Well, maybe they're changing. Sorry, Alex. Maybe they're changing shape as well with that back three for West Ham. There's a little nod to Brentford's front two. You know, sign of respect to them in terms of Ivan Toney, Brian Mbumo. You know, he needs another one at the back there, and I think that's sensible.
And here's Declan Rice. He's already struck the frame of the goal from long range, and he rolls the ball out to the left-hand side. Chance for Emerson to get across into the area. Blocked first time. Cresswell nods it back out to the Brazilian Emerson. And now Paquetá, who seems to have shrugged off that earlier injury concern, but his pass is intercepted by Tony. And the goalkeeper, Raya, clears it long upfield. 0-0, we've played 10 minutes on Talksport 2. And the start of another busy weekend as this feast of festive football continues across the network. And the best way to stay in touch with all the action is by downloading the Talksport app. And you can simply swipe between Talksport and Talksport 2. We'll keep you updated with the goals as they go in over on Talksport between Liverpool and Leicester. And a reminder, tomorrow afternoon game day gets underway with Manchester United against Wolves. United visiting Molineux, looking to continue their good run of form. Wolves having picked up a vital last gasp win against Everton in Julian Lopetegui's first Premier League game in charge. I think he might be a problem, Lopetegui, for those teams at the bottom of the division.
Well, that was pretty sharp there from Scamacca. They had a free kick, West Ham, and you know, he's on the front foot, just a little nod where he wanted the ball, sprinted into the channel, couldn't quite get hold of it though.
No goals in his last 9 Premier League games. Gianluca Scamacca. Scoring goals has been an issue for West Ham. Here's Bowen trying to change that, running into the penalty area, and Ben Mee sliding on his knees, blocks the cross behind for the first corner of the evening. This has been a really upbeat start from West Ham. David Connolly, your former club.
Yeah, excellent. And this all starts with Craig Dawson winning the first challenge up. Ball comes up to Mbeumo. He just wipes Mbeumo out, but he wins the ball at the same time and then sets Bowen away. He doesn't check out either. Really positive, breaks into the box, and yeah, it's a corner, and they've done well, really well. Starts with Dawson though. Corner
from the right, Jarrod Bowen whips it in left-footed. Not a bad delivery, and headed all the way across the face of goal. It was Craig Dawson who met it powerfully at the near post. Goalkeeper Raya rooted to the spot, but Dawson looks to the heavens, couldn't quite hit the target. Yeah, teasing ball in.
Yeah, he directed this really well. He was almost in line with the near post and then directed this all the way towards the back post. Had to twist his head here and just flick that towards the back. I mean, it's so close just to dropping in.
It's almost skimmed the right-hand post, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Raya wasn't getting there.
Difficult skill that. I mean, they must be aware that that back post area is left free.
Second time in the opening 12 minutes, West Ham have come close to giving themselves the lead. And the start of a crucial run of games, you feel, for David Moyes and for their season. It's a trip to Leeds next, then Wolves away from home and Everton at home. Games against the teams in and around them at the wrong end of the Premier League table. Josh Da Silva has been penalised for a foul on Ben Rama right in the centre of the Brentford half. The visitors haven't really got going yet.
No, they haven't. This all starts with a goal kick. I mean, the ball just lands on the head of Ethan Pinnock. He's got no one on him. To me, he's got to take that down on his chest or flick it back to his goalkeeper and relieve a bit of the pressure. He doesn't. He heads it straight back to West Ham. He take it down and then they break, and Da Silva in the end has to make a foul. Ethan Pinnock's got to know there's nothing around him. Get it down, no pressure, and try and keep the ball.
Brentford have won 4 of the last 6 league meetings between these two, but they are the team under pressure in the early exchanges. Free kick chipped towards Dawson at the far post, climbs above me, heads it down inside the area, but it's volley clear left-footed by Rico Henry, out for a West Ham throw.
Well, you can see Craig Dawson, he's trying to lead there. He wins the flick on, but then he points to his teammates if say, well, who's reading that? Who's getting on the end of that? There was nobody.
Long throw into the area from Sofel. Dawson has stayed forward. Scamacca trying to bring the ball out from under his studs. Dawson goes down, appeals for a penalty. More from the fans than the players. Bowen spins inside the area, gets the shot away right-footed, well blocked by Pinnock at the near post for another West Ham corner.
Oh, this is brilliant. Brilliant from Bowen. The little spin in the box to work the opening. I tell you what, the throw though from Sofel was superb. Right in towards the 6-yard box. Scamacca takes it down on the deck, almost on a penalty spot. And then obviously Bowen with the little spin, swivel and shot. That was unlucky.
I'm just watching a replay of the penalty claim. Rico Henry, or Pinnock rather, possibly had his arms on Dawson. I'm not sure there was quite enough contact for the referee to point to the spot. Certainly VAR, under the new guidance from Howard Webb, wouldn't get too involved. In fact, no penalty. It's just flashed up on the screen away to our right. Bowen with the corner again, rather flap tap by the goalkeeper Raya, and this time as Dawson goes down, maybe West Ham do have a shout for a penalty, although no real reaction from Dawson himself. The ball is cleared towards the halfway line. Here come West Ham again. Ben Rama trying to wriggle into some space on the edge of the penalty area. He's got Emerson making the overlapping run to his left. Emerson takes over, slaloms away from one challenge, plays it back into midfield where it's picked up by Rice. 0-0 the score, but West Ham totally dominant in the first 15 minutes at London Stadium. So far with the ball forward, it's a poor one, and he's behind for a goal kick.
That's a shame, because, initially that looked like a really good, promising move. Bit of a clumsy challenge on Dawson as the ball spilled in the box again from the corner. I don't think there was a foul, though. I mean, was there a bit of holding? They might be looking at a bit of holding here in the box from that corner.
I think it was Matthias Jensen, but no real reaction from Dawson. Quite often in these narrow in-box decisions, you can read a lot into a player's body language and the way they react. Let's get back to the darts at Ali Pali. Paul Nicholson is watching for Talksport 2.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. We just had the end of set 4, an incredible set where Derby averaged over 121 to equalise at 2 sets all. They're having a break right now, but when they come back, they will play to a conclusion. Fantastic match in progress. Cross 2, Derby 2.
Thrilling entertainment, as always, from the World Darts Championship. Goals elsewhere in the EFL tonight. In League 1, it's Lincoln 1, Bolton 0. Ben House with the early goal in that one. And in League 2, Stevenage 1, Crawley Town 0. Jordan Roberts has opened the scoring after 10 minutes. And I think I'm right in saying that the vice chairman of Crawley has put himself in the dugout tonight, David Connolly. That is a complete basket case club.
Yeah, goodness me. My former teammate, Matty Everington.
Lasted 3 games, he won one of them.
Well, I roomed with Matty. Well, my rooming lasted as long as his management career, because I think I roomed with him that one game, and that was it. After that, it was enough. He's a bit of a night owl, Matt, so doesn't bode too well if you got a game the next day.
So are you saying he lasted less time as your roommate than he did as Crawley manager? That takes some doing. He was only in charge for 32 days down in Sussex.
Yeah.
Honestly, that club has been run in a very interesting manner this season, shall we say.
While we're on the break as well at the darts, and Brian Brimo had the first strike on target for Brentford. A decent one from outside the box, but it's the first time we've really seen them get anywhere close to the West Ham goal. Fairly comfortable save for Fabianski.
I should give a shout out to producer Izzy at this stage. Not only is she keeping the show ticking along tonight, she's also doubling up as a television engineer to make sure the monitor is working in front of us. It has been flickering on and off, and we are a long way from the pitch here at London Stadium, so we do need those monitors. It won't make pleasant viewing for the Brentford fans who've made the trip from west to east London. Away to our right, their side haven't really got going, but I guess if you're looking for positives, is your Thomas Frank, who is stood holding a piece of paper on the edge of his technical area. They haven't conceded. And here's Rico Henry. We're going to get the wrong side of Sofal at the other end. It's cleared away by the Czech wing-back and out for a throw. And it remains West Ham 0, Brentford 0. You're listening to Talksport 2 on a busy night of Premier League action over on Talksport. Liverpool against Leicester just underway. Throw in here for Brentford. Matthias Jensen, the Dane. Looks like he's about to launch it into the penalty area. He's almost standing on the 18-yard line. He's going to take a long run up. West Ham fans not happy with the amount of time that Brentford are taking to restart proceedings. Almost slipped out of his hands, but it has been played into the area, and he's been turned in from point-blank range. And it's that man, Ivan Toney, again, as the pressure mounts on David Moyes. It was a long throw that West Ham didn't deal with. The initial effort parried away by Fabianski, but the poacher-in-chief, Ivan Toney, scores his 10th goal in his last 11 Premier League games, and totally against the run of play. It is West Ham 0, Brentford 1.
Yeah, it is against the run of play. I mean, this is their first attempt really. They get in the box, a long throw from Jensen, and in the end this one with the flick on from, I think it's Ethan Pinnock, and then it might be Ben Mee with the volley that is palmed away, really I think it's Norgard actually, and then palmed away by Fabianski, but straight into the path of Ivan Toney about 4 yards out, and he just studs this home. I think it's with the sole of his boot. Yeah, brilliant little improvised finish from only a couple of yards out. Terrific.
Well, he just can't stop scoring, Ivan Toney, with that threat of a ban hanging over his head. He is determined to make the most of every opportunity that comes his way. It's almost their first meaningful attack, and it's Brentford who take the lead at London Stadium, and now we're going to see a test of the hammer's metal.
Well, you come back to that long throw. As soon as they they won the throw. Thomas Frank urged all his 3 centre-backs to go up in the box. You know, Ethan Pinnock stationed in front of the 6-yard box to try and win the flick on. The other 2 inside the 6-yard box, a little bit deeper, closer to goal, to try and make a bit of trouble in there, and that's exactly what happened. You know, you've got to say they got that right.
West Ham 0, Brentford 1. Ivan Toney once again on the score sheet.
And once again, look, Thomas Frank's given a sign to the back 3. There you go, right. All of you go up. You're going in the box.
It's another long throw from the same side where Matthias Jensen wreaked so much havoc a couple of minutes ago. And once again, Pinnock summoned forward. It was a well-struck volley from Norgard that Fabianski couldn't handle. This time, Brentford elect not to play the ball into the penalty area.
That was not a corner, though.
And the corner has gone the way of the visitors, or has it? In the end, the referee has bowed to the Hammers' pleas, and it is going to be a goal kick. And David Conley, clearly you feel that was the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, they did quite well there, Jensen, because he faked the throw it in the box, instead took a short to Mbumo, set him back, but then as he crossed the ball in, he hit Mbumo in the back. So that was the right call eventually from the ref.
Well, Brentford in front here, unbeaten in the last 17 Premier League games in which they've scored the first goal. Victory for Thomas Frank's side will take them up to 9th place in the table. And once again, Ivan Toney proving his worth.
Well, you know, even set pieces, Alex, you go back to the Tottenham game, you know, they scored again from another set piece, flick on at the near post, throw-ins, set pieces. These are situations that as a staff and a group you work on, right? These situations, you might not have a lot of the ball, but ball goes out for a corner, ball goes out for a throw, right, what can we set up, what can we work to fashion a decent chance? And they scored a goal against Tottenham via 1, and they've now scored a goal against West Ham from 1. Simple restarts.
Brentford, who've lost just one of their last 7 in the Premier League, they were always going to be dangerous opponents for a West Ham side, clearly lacking a bit of confidence despite the fact they made the brighter start. Here's Ben Rama looking for an immediate reply. Bowen with a shot from midway inside the area, blocked by me. David Moyes leading the appeals for handball. Again, more from the fans than the players on the pitch. It was a good cutback from Ben Rama. Bowen's shot lacked a bit of power, and it was blocked in the end by me. West Ham still in possession over on the far side of the field. 1-0 they trail. We've played 22 minutes on Talksport 2, and Leicester in front at Anfield. Over on Talksport, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall described their performance against Newcastle on Boxing Day as spineless. Well, he's come up with a goal against the odds on Merseyside. It's Liverpool 0, Leicester 1, West Ham 0, Brentford 1 here. As West Ham look to come forward, it's intercepted by Rico Henry on the edge of the penalty area. Me's clearance against Bowen, before in the end it's helped clear towards the centre circle by Pinnock. For all the latest odds, head to 888 Sports, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get West Ham 13-5 to cover behind and win. The draw is 12-5. Brentford odds on at 10-11. That's all thanks to 888 Sport, made to challenge, made to debate, made to play. 18 plus. BigGambleAware.org. Good response from West Ham.
Yeah, it is. I mean, as soon as the goal went in as well, Declan Rice, you could see him urging his teammates, come on, let's get going, get the ball back, and we got the kick-off.
So foul stretches to keep a long raking diagonal ball in play inside the area, but he's only managed to help it on to Henry, who quickly gobbled up the ground and made his way towards the halfway line. Given away by Norgard, and West Ham have it back with Declan Rice. Their credit, the West Ham fans haven't turned on the team. They're still offering plenty of vocal encouragement. And a big night here in East London. Cross from the right-hand side from Sofal, headed away. Brentford now should clear the danger with Henry. Tony's been caught late and looks in some pain. It was a challenge from Vladimir Sofal on this near side. It will be a free kick as Tony goes down holding his left leg.
Well, I think what West Ham fans will be hoping is that it's not like previous games where they've dominated, had a lot of shots and have got nothing from it. You know, you could go back to the Southampton game. They had something like 25 strikes at goal and Southampton only had 10. You know, there's so many. The first 3 games of the season, I think they had 38 strikes at goal in the first 3 games. No goals. And they've dominated here and find themselves one behind. So Yeah, it's a little bit hard for them to take, and hard for David Moyes as well. But as you say, the fans are sticking with him.
And this is the Brentford side who haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 5 Premier League games. They were 2-0 up against Spurs on Boxing Day live on Talksport, only drew by a 2-2 scoreline. So a 1-0 lead, Thomas Frank down below us will know, isn't a comfortable one, particularly the way that West Ham have started proceedings. Here's Declan Rice on the edge of the centre circle, finding Paquetá in space. Little scoop pass with the outside of the foot, releases Sofal down the right hand side. His cross aimed in towards Scamacca, headed away by Pinnock. And then it's Janel who tries to run it clear to the halfway line. One back well by Paquetá, and he goes down. And now it's over on the left hand side with Jensen for Brentford, who lead 1-0 here on Talksport 2. We've got 20 minutes of the first half to play. Over on Talksport, Liverpool 0, Leicester 1. That would be a blow to Liverpool's top 4 hopes if Leicester were to emerge victorious. Here's Norgard into the centre circle and Burmo. Tony, the goal scorer, dropping deep into midfield for Brentford. Bit more confidence now, a bit more cohesion when Brentford are in possession, having started under the cosh, taking the lead against the run of play. But as West Ham come forward, David Connolly, in search of an equaliser, that might just play into Brentford's hands in terms of the counter-attack.
Yeah, possibly, and you know, they've settled down well now. Obviously the goal would have helped, no doubt. Not having a lot of the ball, they're used to that, Brentford. And now obviously the goalkeeper's picking out Ivan
it's a
Toney.
Lovely take from Toney inside the centre circle, under pressure. Such good balance and close control from Toney, plucking the pass from David Raya, and in the end he's won his team a free kick.
Yeah, and this is the evolution of Ivan Toney, because you know, down the years watching Brentford and him, he's just sometimes played as a 10 at times, hasn't he? And he dropped into the centre circle there, received it off his goalkeeper, almost like a Harry Kane, to be honest, you know, and then linked the plate.
Do you think had it not been for that possible betting ban, he would have been on the plane for Qatar?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think he could have been. Probably should have been. It was a tough one, wasn't it, Callum Wilson? You know, but he would have certainly given something, given an awful lot, and given something different.
You could have certainly taken him ahead of Conor Gallagher, couldn't you? Didn't see a single minute of action.
Yeah.
Those ifs and buts. What isn't in question is that Ivan Toney's goal tonight is separating these two London rivals. 27 minutes gone on Talksport 2. West Ham 0, Brentford 1. Under the lights at London Stadium. Here comes Emerson down the left-hand side for West Ham. Only Scamacca in the centre as the cross is launched into the area. Sofal keeps it alive, and the header from Scamacca tamely into the arms of Raya.
Yeah, I think in his defence, it was a tame cross in as well from Sofal, so he had to try and generate all the power himself on the cross. This because Sofal takes it in on his left foot, his weaker left foot. It's difficult, I think, for Scamacca there. What I would say, as you say, you touched on it there, and I've seen it a few times. Who have they got in the box when the ball comes in? Maybe Scamacca and Bowen. That's about it. Not enough players for me committing themselves forward.
Well, that's been a source of frustration all season for West Ham fans. They spent big money to recruit Scamacca. They feel that he should be playing alongside Mikel Antonio, not in place of, as he is tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd love to see 2 strikers out there for West Ham, especially Antonio alongside him.
Antonio on the bench this evening. I wonder how long, if this Brentford lead remains intact, David Moyes will wait to bring him on. Here's Declan Rice bustling away in midfield.
They want that first pass forward, West Ham. You can hear the fans, you know, as soon as they want possession back, they wanted Declan Rice just to play it forward, and he didn't. Checked out, played safe.
That's natural though, isn't it, when your confidence is low? They've lost 10 games in the Premier League this season. No team have lost more. It will have an effect, won't it?
Yeah, it will. But, you know, Declan's got broad shoulders. I think he knows what the fans want. He wants him to go forward when they can, especially now they're losing.
And those comments that he made during the World Cup about wanting to play Champions League football didn't go down particularly well with a lot of the West Ham supporters.
Oh, it's always the way international football. Go away, you know, you have a mic put in front of you, and, you know,
those pesky journalists.
Yeah, those stories always
asking the pertinent
back.
Questions.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You're damned if you do.
Here's Dawson for West Ham. He came close to opening the scoring with a header from a corner just wide. Declan Rice, who we've been talking about, denied by the post inside the opening 5 minutes, but it's Ivan Toney's goal for Brentford that divides these two. Here's Rice again, 15 yards outside the area. Plays it to the left-hand side. And Emerson. Rice again. Picking up possession midway inside Brentford territory. Scoops the cross out to the right-hand side where it's nodded down by Sofal. Jarrod Bowen back to Dawson, who's well forward. Brentford with plenty of black jerseys back behind the ball here, making it very difficult for West Ham to break them down. Benrahma out to the left-hand side and Emerson, who will come in field. Here is Benrahma, looking for Bowen in the centre. Good delivery. Well watched and headed away by me inside the penalty area. Dawson, forward to Rice. Thomas Frank, very animated, the Brentford manager, as his side are penned back inside their own half. It's been the story for much of the opening half an hour, but it's Brentford who lead by a goal to nil here on Talksport 2. West Ham with a throw on the far side, taken quickly. Paquetá, the Brazilian, who scored for his country against South Korea at the World Cup, plays it forward. Rice out to Bowen, checking in on his left foot. Bowen, still only Skamaka inside the penalty area. Cross towards Skamaka at the far post. He leapt but couldn't get on the end of it. And then Sofal plays the ball against Rico Henry, and West Ham have a throw.
It was close, wasn't it? Just marginally ahead of Skamaka. Not a bad ball in. What they do have, Brentford, what they possess, you know, in B and Pinnock and Zanka, they got good height there, haven't they, in that back three? More than a match for Skamaka, you'd say.
These two meet again in the FA Cup at the Brentford Community Stadium next Saturday. That game will be live on Talksport 2. Brentford are appealing that Sofal took the ball out of play on this near side. The assistant had a good view of it and said no, it's a West Ham throw. David Moyes is frustrated with the way it's been taken by Sofal, and Brentford could counter. Tony looking to release his partner in crime and Burmo, but the ball there first, and the Italian cushions it back to the goalkeeper Fabianski. Let's once again get back to Ali Pally. Paul Nicholson is there for Talksport 2.
Yeah, thanks Alex. What a great game we've got here. Dobie has taken the last couple of sets against Rob Cross, the number 5 seed, but as far as the last couple of sets are concerned, phenomenal from the man from Northumberland. He currently leads by 3-2, very close to victory. 3-2 Dobie it is.
So Dobie ahead there, and Brentford in front here at London Stadium. West Ham 0, Brentford 1. Janelt playing it, Jensen rather, playing it forward. Now Tony inside the penalty area. Can he get a shot away? Try to give it back to Jensen, and Burmo goes down after a tussle with Ogbonna. No penalty, goal kick for West Ham.
Yeah, and I guess that's what they possess as well. Breaking from deep, Brentford. 3-on-3 it was there for West Ham. And obviously crowd a little bit restless. You know, want Fabianski to get the ball back in play. And it's just not quite happening for them, is it? In and around the box, West Ham. A pass there, I think it was Benrahma out wide, fed the pass in the box, and it was just slightly behind Skamaka, and it just allowed Brentford to break. So, just not quite going their way.
Well, they are a side used to soaking up pressure and catching their opponents unawares. Brentford, they face more shots on their goal than any team in the Premier League. Certainly, West Ham had the upper hand before that Tony goal in the 18th minute, and it's been the home side largely who have posed most of the questions since then. But they are a dangerous team on the counter. There's another cross into the penalty area. He's blocked behind for a West Ham corner, their third of this first half. We've got 12 minutes to go until the break. West Ham trailing by a goal to nil.
Yeah, and obviously when you've got Dawson in your side, Ogbonna, you know they're going to be a threat at these sorts of situations. Let's see how they do here. Certainly need to deliver it right.
Don't forget, we've got a couple of live Premier League games coming your way tomorrow. Wolves against Manchester United 12:30, then Manchester City Everton at 3 o'clock. Adrian Durham will also be keeping you across all the goals as they go in on a busy day in the Premier League, the EFL and beyond.
Well, that'll frustrate the fans. They take it short there and easily blocked. Gone out for a throw rather than a cross. Here's
Benrahma trying to turn it into space on the edge of the area. Rico Henry momentarily has gone across to the right back position to keep an eye on him. Declan Rice with the ball into the box. Ogbonna tussling with Pinnock. Ogbonna plays it forward. Shot from Benrahma. Brilliant save. One-handed by Raya at the near post. That is a superb piece of goalkeeping.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a save you'd probably expect him to make, right? But it's a strong hand, acute angle, left-hand side of the 6-yard box, and didn't really have much of the goal to aim at there. I think it was Emerson with the strike in the end. Good save from Abbott, you'd expect him to.
Corner from the left-hand side. West Ham searching for this equaliser. Headed away inside the box by Mburmo. Still West Ham on the front foot. Emerson and Benrahma linking up over on the far touchline, and Benrahma winning his team a throw. All hands on deck for Brentford. They lead by a goal to nil. We have 10 minutes the first half to play. It will be a Hammers throw from the far side, taken short by Emerson to Benrahma. Back to the former Chelsea defender. Then laid off in midfield by Paquetá to Rice. Dawson out to the right and Sofal. For once there are 4 or 5 claret jerseys to aim at. Ogbonna with a header hanging in the air and high over the bar.
Yeah, deeper delivery from Sofal, who gives his teammate Ogbonna a little round of applause here, but he couldn't quite get this on target. In the end, he hits it probably from the penalty spot. You want that ball a little bit closer to goal, I think. Going to trouble David Raya.
You are listening to West Ham against Brentford on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Stoppage in play because Ben Mee is down on his haunches inside the penalty area and will be in need of some treatment. Still Liverpool 0, Leicester 1 over on Talksport. 20 minutes gone in that one. And this is a worrying moment, David Connolly, for Brentford, as Mee is still down inside the area.
Yeah, I mean, he's a warrior. I'm sure he'll be okay. Taking his time. I mean, they got strength, haven't they? Got a strong spine, Brentford. You know, David Raya, the centre halves. You know, I think Ben Mee was a superb signing for them. You know, Ethan Pinnock, now he's fit. Strong spine. Norgard now available. You go right through the middle of the team, and it's really, really strong.
David Raya, the goalkeeper, has made more saves than any other keeper in the Premier League this season. He was on the bench for Spain for their ill-fated World Cup campaign in Qatar. Ben Mee back to his feet, being jeered by the West Ham fans. They clearly see this as a bit of a time-wasting tactic. Martin Allen, who I mentioned earlier, scored the last time West Ham beat Brentford. Former Bees manager watching from the stands here at London Stadium. Could they do with somebody of his ilk, his combativeness in midfield, West Ham? He gets sent off every other week, wouldn't he, in 2022?
I think so. Mad Dog.
What a character. I remember actually when he brought a Brentford team down to Southampton in the FA Cup, and his superstition was to go for a swim before matches. He literally, in January, went skinny dipping in the Solent before that game. He picked up a draw at St Mary's and it went to a replay. They don't make them like him anymore, do they? Can't see Thomas Frank going for a dip in the Thames before that FA Cup game against West Ham in a couple of weeks. Maybe he might.
Well, I'm sure he'll be pretty sick afterwards if he did.
Here's Declan Rice driving towards the penalty area away to our right. West Ham trailing 1-0. Out to Sofal on the right. And Rice switches the play out to the left-hand side. Emerson's been a good outlet, actually, over on that left touchline. He comes in field here, but he's shown too much of it to Matthias Jensen. One back by Rice and back out to the left-hand side again. And a deep cross this time from Emerson, but too deep. And a safe pair of hands from Raya, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, you just wonder whether it's going to be one of those days for West Ham where they just resort to crossing at every opportunity rather than maybe trying to work something clever, intricate in around the box. Looking at Paquetá, he plays a lot deeper than I thought he would today. At times he's right alongside Declan Rice. At times a little bit deeper than Rice. I thought would be more, you know, closer to the box, the opposition box, but he's not. And it does mean the likes of Bowen and Scamacca and Benrahma, they're the ones that are going to have to deliver a goal by the looks of it.
Yeah, we were trying to work out exactly how West Ham would line up before kick-off, and maybe there was a feeling that Declan Rice would sit deep and that Paquetá will get up alongside the likes of Benrahma and Bowen and offer support for Scamacca. He has really played in that holding role in midfield. And you wonder if David Moyes might have to be a little bit more ambitious as the evening wears on, and that again is a stick that West Ham fans have often used to beat their manager with, that he's too much of a pragmatist, maybe doesn't take the handbrake off enough.
Well, if you look at Norgard for Brentford, he's playing as a single holder, you know, for them. He's the one that's performing in front of the back unit, at times dropping in between the back unit to get on the ball, but largely Matthias Jensen and Josh De Silva play as two attacking mids ahead of him. But for West Ham, it's the other way round, isn't it? It's got Declan Rice and Paquetá, and they're almost like two holding midfield players.
It's the voice of David Connolly, former West Ham and Republic of Ireland striker. Alongside me, Alex Crook, here on Talksport 2. West Ham fans not happy because Fabianski is taking a long time over a goal kick, and time not on their side, not in this first half anyway. 6 minutes to play, plus stoppages. And it's West Ham 0, Brentford 1. Ivan Toney, the only goal on 18 minutes. Over on Talksport, Liverpool 0, Leicester 1. Kieran Dewsbury Hall with a goal for the Foxes. Here's Paquetá trying to release Sofau down the right-hand side, but he got that one all wrong. And it's watched behind by Rico Henry for a goal kick for Brentford, and Paquetá is frustrated with himself. It's all over at Ali Pally. Paul Nicholson.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, it is all over, and Chris Dobie has got the job done. He averaged over 102, he had a 170 finish and 8 180s in that match. Too hot for Cross tonight. Dobie 4, Cross 2, the 2018 champion is out.
Yeah, the former electrician running out of spark tonight, seemingly. We will keep you updated of events from the World Darts Championship. As Brentford have a throw level with the home technical area. It's taken by Ben Mee with the flame red hair. And now with Norgard deep inside the Brentford half, away to our right. Norgard looking to play it forward, and Burmo, first time layoff looking for Tony. In comes Dawson to win it back for West Ham. Paquetá then releasing Ben Rama. Here's Emerson over on that far side. Those two have worked well in tandem tonight. It's Ben Rama who chips the ball into the area, but again too close to David Raya, and that will frustrate David Moyes. They've had lots of opportunities, David Connolly, to get the ball into the box, and too often they've only managed to pick out the Brentford keeper.
That's right, and they haven't mixed the game up. You know, again, I just said it a moment ago. You know, is it going to be a game where they just put crosses in the box and they don't vary, don't look to link or work their way closer to goal, and that's what's happened. Again, Benrahma drifts in, just first thought, I'm just going to cross this rather than trying to open Brentford up.
And the goal kick from David Raya only found Paquetá, but his ball to Sofau has been intercepted. And here is Jensen now, just inside the Brentford half. Norgard into the feet of Tony, who's just asking for a bit more urgency, I think, from his side. Tony once again dropping very deep to get involved in the play, flicked on by Norgard to the goal scorer. And Tony with time and space to find Jensen on this left-hand side. Only in Burmo in and around the West Ham area, away to our left for Brentford. Norgard into De Silva in midfield. And now it's stroked out to that right-hand side, and Roreslev. Swansea City have taken the lead against Watford in the Championship. Joel Perreault has got some suitors heading into the transfer window with a goal. Swansea 1, Watford 0. And Crawley, with their vice-chairman in the dugout, are now 2-0 down away from home against Stevenage. Maybe he might sack himself if things don't improve in the second half. 1-0 Brentford lead here at London Stadium. Only 2.5 minutes to play in the first half, and David Moyes out on the edge of his technical area, looks like a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders in what is his 638th Premier League game as boss. Only the great Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger and Harry Redknapp racked up more, so he'll be digging deep, David Connolly, into all that experience.
He might be digging deep onto the bench because, I mean, Paquetá, let's just see this through.
Oh, there's an opportunity here, maybe for 2-0 West Ham, all at sea at the back, and it's been guided into the bottom corner by Josh De Silva, and is that the goal that plunges David Moyes closer to the sack? Declan Rice kicks the ball away in frustration. How on earth did Josh De Silva find himself in so much space, one-on-one with Fabianski? It's an ice-cold finish from a man who hasn't scored since the second game of the season, but De Silva has doubled the trouble for David Moyes. It is West Ham 0, Brentford 2.
Well, when I said about David Moyes will be digging towards the bench, it's because Paquetá just kicked the ball off the pitch, and that's where they got the throw, Brentford, and from that is a completely needless giveaway. They take a little throw, it's hooked on. This is sort of page 1 in the midfield manual, and then it's over the top. It's a foot race between De Silva and I think it's Aaron Quezzo. He out sprints him, races away.
Gave up.
He bears down on goal, right hand side, opens his left boot out beautifully, and this strokes it past the goalie. But you know, Well, not be funny, Alex. It comes from Paquetá with a simple pass in the middle of the park, passes it straight off the pitch. I mean, you can't legislate for that. But then from the throw, it's route one. Receive it, square on, hook it on over the top. That is page one in midfield play, away from home. No chances, hook it on in the middle of the park. And route one ball, and then you're at you. A terrible goal. But it all starts with Paquetá for me.
And the home fans are streaming from the stands here at London Stadium. It might be they're all off for a bit of half-time refreshment, but I wonder if some of them have already seen enough. We're into the last 30 seconds of normal time in the first half. De Silva has made it West Ham 0, Brentford 2. And for me, Aaron Cresswell just gave up as that throw-in was taken. That is unforgivable. And maybe it sums up the mood in the West Ham camp. Here is Sofal down the right. They were 2-0 up against Spurs on Boxing Day, Brentford, and only ended up with a draw. West Ham will take confidence in that, but my word, David Connolly, David Moyes has got his work cut out here. 300 minutes at the end of the half.
Yeah, he does. You know, but I'm sure he'll be probably saying those words to his team at half-time as well. I think I'll be really, really annoyed. They started so well, conceded against the run of play of a, you know, pretty simple goal, avoidable goal, long throw in the box, but the second one comes from another throw. But you know, needless giveaway. I think Paquetá's, I don't know what his pass completion rate would be, but it'd probably be like 50%. It's just not enough.
Here he is again, Paquetá in midfield.
There's another one.
Stroke it out to the left-hand side, but it was undercooked, and sliding in was Rohrslev to clear for Brentford. Can West Ham at least get themselves on the score sheet before the break? The boos are sure to be ringing around when Darren Ingham blows the half-time whistle. West Ham staring down the barrel of their 11th Premier League defeat already this season. It's a far cry from when they were flirting with the Champions League places this time a year ago.
He nearly lost it again, Paquetá. He got pressed from behind from Ivan Toney, he got a deflection on it, and eventually it's gone back to Fabianski. I mean, he looks like he's shot to pieces. Paquetá, he really does. He looks like he's completely lost his confidence.
Jarrod Bowen has just given away a free kick for a foul on Norgard. That will allow Brentford to waste a few more precious seconds at the end of the first half. Still Liverpool 0, Leicester 1 over on Talksport. So big stories on both stations tonight as your Premier League weekend kicks off. And it's the Brentford fans away to our right who are making the majority of the noise. There are so many empty seats in the home section of the crowd now. What a job Thomas Frank has done, not just to lead Brentford into the Premier League for the first time in their history, to stabilise them last season when it looked at one stage where they could be in trouble. They certainly aren't looking over their shoulders at this moment in time. They are looking up towards the European places. It's West Ham who are in danger of being dragged deep into relegation turmoil. Here is Ben Rama on halfway for the Hammers. We're deep into added time at the end of the first half. West Ham 0, Brentford 2 on Talksport 2. Bowen out to the right-hand side, and Sofal. Bowen continues his run. He's another player who largely is underwhelmed this season, Jarrod Bowen. And his cross is comfortably headed away by Pinnock inside the penalty area. Out for a throw on this near side. Probably the last chance that West Ham will have to ask any serious questions of David Raya and the Brentford defence before the interval.
It's going to be another long one though. Let's see if they can have the same sort of impact as Brentford did.
Sofal, flicked on by Dawson at the near post, still bouncing around inside the area, but again Brentford look hungrier. Here's Paquetá, gets the shot away! Left-footed just past the post. West Ham are claiming a deflection. Referee says goal kick. For a moment David Raya was scrambling, and that's probably the best piece of play that Paquetá has produced in this first half.
Yeah, it has. I mean, maybe that's because he's in around the box. Get him up there. Don't have him as a deep liar trying to build the play, because his passing tonight, his radar is completely off. Get him playing closer to the front, maybe being a threat around the box. That was unlucky, just dragged it half a yard past the far post. Decent strike.
I think the goalkeeper was beaten. Goal kick from Raya. There's the half-time whistle, and a cacophony of boos around the London Stadium. Well, David Moyes was under huge pressure coming into this game. He's in even deeper turmoil now. Ivan Toney with his 10th goal in 11 Premier League games, opening the scoring against the run of play on 18 minutes, and Josh Da Silva with the freedom of the penalty area to double Brentford's lead a minute before half-time. It came from a cheaply conceded free kick from Paquetá. Cresswell didn't do enough to get the right side of Da Silva. It was a calm finish from the former Arsenal youngster. There won't be much calmness in that home dressing room. Half-time, it is West Ham 0, Brentford 2.
Alex Crook, thank you. Game day exclusive Talksport 2. You know what the Hammers fans think at the break. Brentford clinical, West Ham confident, fragile, form troubling. West Ham are in trouble, David Connolly. They're in real trouble.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I've got to say, they started well. I mean, they started that game really, really well. The best I've seen them play for a long period, considering the run they're on. And then they concede a really cheap goal.
Brentford's first incursion forward in the game, right?
Exactly, yeah. And it starts with Soufal putting it out for a throw, which you think, well, that should be okay. Maybe you could have cleared it down the line, right? Picking the bones out of this. Put it out for a throw. They get the throw, long throw, they win the first flick on. You would say, can you win the first one up? They don't. Ethan Pinnock does. They keep it alive eventually. Fabian's a great save, balls to Tony, and he sort of studs it in with the sole of his boot. But prior to that, West Ham couldn't have done much more. I mean, David Moyes have been really happy with how they played.
When that first ball isn't dealt with at the near post, players like Ivan Toney, 13th goal of the season in all competitions, players like that come alive, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And, the ball's parrying, it's going towards goal, comes back away from goal, it goes back in. It's just a really good finish. And using the sole of your boot, didn't have time to open his boot out or use a different part of his boot. The nearest part was the sole. Stud it in, super.
Second goal, correct me if I'm wrong, second time in the West Ham box in that first half?
I think so, yeah.
Not dealt with. Well, given away firstly, and then talk to me about Aaron Cresswell, his positioning, his desire, his will to be stronger and faster than Josh Da Silva. So easy for Da Silva to shake him off there.
I mean, you pick the bones out of this, but I'm going to start with Paquetá giving the ball away. Simple pass on the halfway line, passes it off the pitch. They get the throw, they play a square throw, which is, as I said, page one, away from home, you hook it on. Late in the game, just hook it on, and it's playing their half. And that's exactly right. Just a hooked ball on, and Cresswell reacts late. Would you say, is he in a different position playing as a left-side centre-back than if he was a left-back? If he's a left-back, he wouldn't be in that position. That would be the centre-back's role. But maybe left-side centre-back, there was probably a few too many holes there because of the system and the shape that they're playing. So would that be a defence for him? As it was, he sort of was completely
well positioned, but it gets to a point, right, where you just want it more than your opponent, and Da Silva wanted it far more than Aaron Cresswell, right? Yeah, Cresswell was shaken off like he was not there. I'd have fancied my chances being stronger there.
Well, against Josh Da Silva, I don't know if you would. I mean, Josh is really quick, and he's strong, and he's a top player. And he just streaked away from him. Yeah, real great composure to open his body out. Interestingly, Josh Da Silva, left footer, playing right side attacking mid. Like if he was normally he'd be playing the left side attacking mid role, but because he was on the right and he was breaking on the diagonal, he was able to open his body out and use his left and just stroke it into the far corner. So I mean, he's not playing in a natural position for a left footer in midfield, but worked in his favour there. And look, Josh hasn't had really that much impact on the game, has he? Because Brentford hadn't really had much of the ball. But
2-0 up.
I tell you what, he scored a great goal.
West Ham chasing the game. Skamaka keen to drop into that 10 position, wanting to drop off the front.
Dan, let's not even start.
Who's willing to run the other way then?
I mean, we can't really start with what, say, Skamaka's offered, because he's barely seen anything of the ball. And all West Ham have resorted to, really, for all their play. And
then stay in the box then.
A lot of it's been good. He has been in the box. He's been in the box.
There's been times where the fullbacks have looked up, Dave. The Hammers fullbacks from either side looked across the ball in the box, and yes, Skamaka is often the only shirt in the box. Sometimes he's not even in the box.
He can't do any more, because if they're resorting to crosses, then they've got to be really, really good crosses. And at the minute, they're either underhit, they're overhit, or they're behind him, like the one from Soufal. I mean, he's not a machine, and he's up against three good centre halves there. So they need more quality. And if they are just going to resort to crosses, it's got to be, it's got to be with precision, and it's got to beat the first man. It's got to find its target. Or are you going to be clever and work a little opening? And at the minute, they don't look like they've got the craft, the guile, the wherewithal in and around the box to craft something clever, West Ham. So they're resorting to just slinging it in the box, and it's been kind of food and drink for Brentford.
4 straight defeats for West Ham. Looks like it could be 5. Half time on Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. West Ham 0, Brentford 2.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League. The Social with Adeola Depot and Rory Jennings. Weekday afternoons from 3 on Talksport 2. Outspoken opinions and decisive debate following all the action.
We talk about football in a bipartisan and educated way. Well, I do at least.
I try.
News, views, fun and football fixtures.
It's not just football though. Bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby.
And it's a try!
And some phenomenal guests.
If you can't get in this squad after showing the form you showed, I don't think it looks too good for him.
This is the place to be.
It's Addy and Rory. It's The Social on Talksport 2.
What a goal!
The Social.
Weekday afternoons from 3.
It works, doesn't it? On Talksport 2.
Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with a Now Sports membership. Stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
The new season is here, and The Times on Saturday has all the big interviews, insightful analysis, and stats you need to set you up for a perfect weekend of Premier League action. Subscribe today at thetimes.co.uk/football for provocative and compelling opinions from the best sports writers in the business, including James Gibb-Brandt, Owen Slott, and the voice of football, Henry Winter.
Lovely bit of football.
Try it free for 1 month at thetimes.co.uk/football. Auto renews at £26 a month unless cancelled. T's and C's apply.
What does Asahi Super Dry taste like? Crisp, refreshing, and always super dry. A taste as unexpected and surprising as modern Japan. That's right, Japan's #1 beer. Asahi Super Dry, beyond expected. Go to asahisuperdry.com to verify. Enjoy responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk to find out more.
Ho ho, hold your horses. Reindeers, glitter baubles. Have Just Eat got some winner Christmas dinner, lunches, breakfast for you. With the McDonald's Big Tasty with Bacon, Domino's Ultimate Spicy Sausage Pizza, Costa Coffee Gingerbread Latte, Pizza Express Snowball Dough Balls, plus more from Greg's, Creams Cafe, Starbucks, and Five Guys. So fill your buckled elf boots, stocking, sleigh today. Christmas, we got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Product subject to availability in restaurant and serving times. Participating stores only. See justeat.co.uk for details.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In December, we've got a 2.44 by 1.2 metre sheet of 100mm Enotherm PIR insulation for only £37.99 ex VAT. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
That charged the 20%.
You what? You what? You what? You what? You what? You're not watching the big footy games in a pub and grill fan zone at Village Hotels? Who are ya? Premier League and big games on giant screens, stadium seats, great lineup of beers, and dirty burgers and bar snacks to tackle. Plus, win big game tickets, beer for a year, and other great prizes. Visit villagehotels.com/Talksport. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. Always drink responsibly. Who are ya?
Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. We search a panel of lenders to find you the best deal. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
The games, the goals, and the glory.
Oh, he's grabbed it!
Game Day.
Brilliant strike!
Live football coverage that's beyond compare. Game Day exclusive
on Talksport 2.
Emotional occasion, no doubt, for Lucas Paquetá, who played for Brazil at the World Cup in Qatar tonight. His job is to help West Ham get their sorry season back on track. Here's Rice again on the edge of the box. Curls one off the post. Raya was beaten. Declan Rice let fly from fully 25 yards. Has been played into the area and he's been turned in from point blank range. And he's that man, Ivan Toney, again. As the pressure mounts on David Moyes. Oh, there's an opportunity here, maybe for 2-0 West Ham, all at sea at the back. And it's been guided into the bottom corner by Josh Da Silva. And is that the goal that plunges David Moyes closer to the sack? There's the half-time whistle and a cacophony of boos around the London Stadium.
That was Alex Crook, David Connolly, shortly the second half here on Talksport 2. West Ham 0, Brentford 2. Over on Talksport, nearing half-time at Anfield. A Wout Vass own goal means it's now Liverpool 1, Leicester 1 on Talksport. Talksport app, simple to download, best way to stay across all the action on the Talksport network. Moving forward, half-times in the Championship: Birmingham 0, Hull 0, Norwich 0, Reading 0, Stoke 0, Burnley 0, Swansea 1, Watford 0 into League One half-times. Derby 0, Cambridge United 0, Lincoln City 1, Bolton Wanderers 0 into League 2, and a couple of games at half-time: Newport County 0, Lake Lorient 0, Stevenage 2, Crawley Town 0. Just to repeat what Alex mentioned in the first half, we got a statement from Crawley Town about an hour before kick-off tonight, confirming that assistant coach Darren Byfield will take charge of the team tonight against Stevenage, 2-0 down at half-time. And Monday's game with Newport County, club co-chairman Preston Johnson will be in the dugout to show his support to Darren, the staff and the players. I wonder if he'll stay there for the second half. Let's bring you up to date at Ali Pali, the PDC World Darts Championship. There for Talksport 2, Paul Nixon and Chris Mason.
Thank you, Dan. Yes, a very, very good start to the evening session here. We've already witnessed Chris Dobey defeat Rob Cross, the 2018 champion, by 4-2 in what was an incredible match. We are currently watching and listening to Michael van Gerwen starting his charge for a fourth title. He's up against Dirk van Dijvenbode at the 14th seed. It's currently 2-1 in the first set, but Chris Mason's sitting alongside me this evening. And as for that first game between Cross and Dobey, thoughts on that one, Mace?
Yeah, outstanding display. I mean, it was such a statement intent in set one from Rob Cross, but Chris Dobey just sat in and then all of a sudden started to take over, winning 4-2 with an end average 102.13, 8 180s, 33% on his doubles, and that magnificent 170 finish, which at the time really put down a bit of a statement. And during that spell of the match, it was a spell that Rob Cross never ever recovered from. But talking of statements of intent, my goodness, Michael van Gerwen in the very first leg of this match, an 11 dart breaker throw with an 88 checkout. He's gone slightly off the boil for him so far, but still leads 2-1. And what's your thoughts on Luke Humphries against Bunty, which is up next?
Yeah, we've got the number 5 seed Luke Humphries after this MVG Dirk van Dijvenbode match. Luke is going to take on Stephen Bunting, who dispatched Dave Chisnell yesterday. We will be with all of the action here at Ali Pali at the conclusion of the football, but so far so good tonight for the underdogs. Dirk van Dijvenbode is looking to equalise at 2-2 in the first set here. But for now, we'll pass back to you, Dan, and we'll give you updates throughout the night. And when you're finished there, we'll have live coverage on Talksport 2 of Ali Pali action here at the World Darts Championship.
Boys, thank you. Been sounding fabulous this festive period. From around 10 p.m, more coverage from the PDC World Darts Championship over on Talksport. Not one Cobble Cologne goal, but now 2 from the Leicester City defender Wout Vass on the stroke of half-time. Liverpool 2, Leicester City 1. The former West Ham and Republic of Ireland international striker Dave Connolly alongside me. Any of your former teammates ever scored 2 own goals in one game?
Not that I can think of, but I mean, Wout had a difficult time at the weekend as well, didn't he, against Newcastle? So
tough over here in the Premier League, isn't it? West Ham out before Brentford. Before the match, you said David Moyes will get more time. Brentford, Leeds, Wolves, Everton to come. Behind by 2-0 against Brentford. You still think he's going to get more time?
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe you ask him after the game, see what he says.
I'll leave that with Alex, I think.
But, you know, I know look, it's a really difficult job that he's got. The goals were dreadful, make no mistake, but prior to the first one, I thought they played really, really well, but it's kind of been the story of their season so far. I'm sure he's gone mad in there and sent them out of a flea in their ear. We want to see a response. We want them to start the second half. Like, to be honest, they started the first half.
And looks like no changes, though. Why has he made no changes?
Well, I'm surprised because I thought Paquetá was really poor.
Antonio Fornell's options on the bench.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you just wonder. You know,
why do managers wait?
Well, I'm sure he said, give me something, give me a response, and he'll probably give him 10-15 minutes and then we'll see.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2, time for the second half here at the London Stadium. Dave Connolly's alongside Alex Crook.
Well, for the first time since November of 2019, West Ham find themselves 2 goals down at home They have shown their powers of recovery this season to collect 14 points from losing positions. Brentford were 2-0 up in their last Premier League game against Spurs, only drew 2-2, so perhaps all is not lost as the second half gets underway. West Ham in their claret jerseys, sky blue shorts and claret socks, attacking the goal away to our left. Brentford all in black, shooting from left to right, and as Dan Windle has already told you, no change in personnel, so West Ham as they were in the first half, with Fabianski in goal, Dawson, Ogbonna and Cresswell in front of him. Sofal and Emerson are the wing-backs, with Rice and Paquetá, who's underwhelmed in midfield, Benrahma and Bowen either side of Skamaka up front. Brentford have Raya in goal, Zanka, Pinnock and me in a back three. Rorslev and Henry the wing-backs, Jensen, Norgard and De Silva score of the second goal in midfield, and Burmo alongside Ivan Toney, who opened the scoring up front. Ivan Toney, the third player in 2022 to score 20 or more Premier League goals. It's illustrious company to be keeping alongside Harry Kane and Erling Haaland. A goal and an assist for Toney tonight as he continues to put off-field distractions firmly at the back of his mind. Here's Emerson for West Ham, cutting in from the left-hand side. David Moyes needed a response from his players before kick-off. My word, does he need one now in this second half. Dawson towards the area, into Emerson again, lets it run across his body, picked up by Cresswell. Near side as we look, the two West Ham players almost ran into each other, much to the frustration of the home fans, and there are, David Connolly, plenty of empty seats now around London Stadium. We wondered if all those West Ham fans who piled out when the second goal went in would come back. The answer seemingly is no. Here's Mbermo coming forward for Brentford, sliding tackle from Declan Rice. Can he keep possession under pressure inside his own half? He can, and then it's played forward by Cresswell, and Rice picks it up on the edge of the centre circle, strokes it out to the right, and Bowen. Skamaka forward in the penalty area. Bowen attacking down that right hand side, and he goes down under a challenge from me. The referee has a long look at it, and the referee says penalty for West Ham inside 3 minutes of the restart. A gilt-edged opportunity for the home side to get back in the game.
Well, this is more like it. I mean, this will start. I got to admit, this starts with Declan Rice. This is brilliant. He wins the ball off Brian Mbumo about 10 yards outside his box, and it looks like Mbumo's going to get it back off him. He doesn't, shrugs him off, wins the ball, breaks the other end, switches it out to Jared Brown. He's in the box. He just seems to dart
sure he
on
is
the
he?
in.
Is he in the box?
He's on the inside of Ben Mee, but it looks like the foul was just maybe outside or very close to the line. Very close to the line. I mean, he fell in the box, but the contact might have just been outside.
Well, John Brooks, the VAR, will be looking at this. For me, the challenge from me was outside the area. Bowen hobbling back to his feet. Will the penalty be overturned here? Craig Dawson in conversation with Darren England, the on-field referee. He is suggesting that it was just inside. I think it's outside the area. I think this has to be overturned.
Yeah, looks like the contact is just outside.
And VAR are checking it. And the way that West Ham are lining up, looks like the decision has been overturned. And it is a free kick and not a penalty. And I think we can all agree, having seen a couple of replays, that that is the correct call. And a let-off for Brentford. It was a clumsy challenge from me. But it will be just a free kick a yard outside the area.
Well, it was positive anyway, certainly, in terms of, you know, getting the ball out of Jared Brown, because to be honest, he looked in the box. There was only Skamaka in there anyway, so he had to try and break into the box, and that's what I was saying, talking about earlier in the first half. You know, a bit of craft and guile, doing something different rather than crossing, nearly led to a penalty.
Bowen with the chance to whip in the free kick from the right-hand side. Cresswell is stood over the ball as well, but it will be Bowen. Goes low towards the near post, blocked by Toney. Emerson keeps it alive for West Ham, and then it's swept away by Rico Henry, and it's still West Ham 0, Brentford 2. We played 5 minutes in the second half on Talksport 2. It's all the way back with Łukasz Fabianski making his 333rd Premier League appearance, by far the most of any Pole in the competition. Pretty powerless for either West Ham goal, or Brentford goal I should say, as Norgard Releases Mburmo down the left-hand side. If he stayed onside, he's picked out Tony. Ivan Toney couldn't get the ball out from under his studs. It's cleared away by Cresswell. I think it would have counted. The flag didn't go up, David.
No, that was unlucky from Ivan Toney, because you can see what he was trying to do. The cross was slightly behind him, trying to let the ball run across his body. He's just directing, just pointing to Brian Mburmo there, just saying, just play the ball a little bit in front of me. They had a lot of space there. They had a good 15 yards in front of him for Mburmo to play the ball into. He was slightly behind him, and that meant the opportunity was just missed. That's the threat though, right? On the counter, haven't really had much. There we go, one ball over the top and they're in.
It's been the story of the evening so far as De Silva turns away from Rice. Well, one back by Paquetá. Rice out to this left-hand side and Ben Rama. Emerson now takes over. Chips the ball into the Brentford half, but easily well in the air by Pinnock on his 200th career appearance up against Skamaka. Just haven't got their lone striker involved in the play anywhere near enough, West Ham, tonight. As it's smashed away upfield by Sofal. Paquetá being pushed back towards his own penalty area, but he's managed to find Emerson down the left-hand side. He's got a bit of green grass to run into. Over the halfway line, Emerson into Ben Rama, who almost lost his balance, but managed to keep control. And Ben Rama now is no more than 10 yards outside the area, away to our left. Floodlights beaming down on this lush green turf at the London Stadium. Cresswell with the opportunity to cross. Skamaka has peeled away to the far post, headed away again by Pinnock. And here's Declan Rice now midway inside Brentford territory. Good spell of possession from West Ham at the start of this second half, but they still trail by 2-0. Liverpool from behind lead 2-1 against Leicester over on Talksport. Wout Faes with 2 own goals. I'm not sure there's ever been an own goal hat-trick in the Premier League. He won't want that piece of history in the second half. Remember, the best way of keeping up to date with both commentaries is by downloading the Talksport app and just swiping between Talksport and Talksport 2. David Moyes, very agitated, the West Ham manager, on the edge of his giant technical area here at London Stadium. Just cutting a very solitary figure. Here's Bowen though, running towards the Brentford area. Mee slides in, comes to Paquetá, and from 25 yards out, he blazes the ball over the crossbar.
Well, I think he's rescued here by the foul. The referee's dug him out and blown for the foul anyway. I think Jared Bowen was just caught as he was breaking forward, and that kind of summed Paquetá up. I keep looking at Paquetá, I don't want to keep picking on him, but often at times he is deeper than Declan Rice, and when Declan Rice looks ahead of him, there are not enough options ahead of the ball. Now, whether you need Paquetá and Declan Rice in the same midfield, I don't know. Certainly if you're losing, I'm not so sure. I think Declan could be the deeper one and just get another forward there, in and around the box.
And Ben Rama has placed the ball down as if he fancied the shot from a long way out here, fully 35 yards out to the right of centre. David Raya has asked for just a 2-man wall on the edge of the box. Cresswell, who can strike a decent dead ball, is over it as well. Ben Rama, who played almost 100 games for Brentford, 30 goals he scored in 94 appearances, but he leaves it for Cresswell, and the left-footed shot is over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, long way out, wasn't it? Long way out. I think it's difficult, ambitious, got to get it up and down, and that is a big Brentford wall. They're quite a big team, haven't they? They've got a lot of 6-foot-plus players, and there's got to be some free kick to get it up and over and down in time to beat David Raya from there.
You're listening to West Ham against Brentford on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Liverpool against Leicester, live right now for £11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. Brentford in possession inside the centre circle with Jensen. Norgard with the ball forward to Mburmo. Mburmo looking to try and put Cresswell under pressure, but Cresswell alert to the danger and just watches the ball behind for a goal kick, which Fabianski is in a hurry to take, and finds Dawson inside the area. Here's Ogbonna. No sign at the moment of any imminent West Ham changes, despite the fact they're trailing by 2-0. We're into the 10th minute of the second half. Cresswell over halfway for the Hammers. Now Ogbonna into the centre of the West Ham half. Dispossessed Ben Rama by Zanka. Now De Silva, scorer of the second Bees goal. Striding away from Ben Rama, taking on Emerson. He carried the ball a long way there, De Silva, and then he was brought down right in front of the assistant referee by Declan Rice as a free kick. That was a really intelligent piece of midfield play.
Yeah, he had nowhere else to go, did he, De Silva? So he just aimed for the corner and attracted 3 players in the end. Declan Rice had to come over, which I'm sure there's a bit of frustration in this challenge because he knows any sort of contact here, he's probably going to give away a free kick. That's exactly what happened. And yeah, you just got to be so careful, haven't you, against a side like Brentford, giving these sorts of situations away, needless free kicks, needless throws.
Free kick a yard in from the touchline. There is action down below us, but it's not from the West Ham side. Brentford are ready, a couple of changes. Johan Wissa amongst them, and Burma with a curling free kick. It was headed all the way across the 6-yard box by Skamaka, could have gone anywhere, and it's cleared away by Dawson in the right back position for West Ham. 2-0 Brentford lead away from home. Here's Paquetá releasing Emerson down the West Ham left. He's got Benrahma forward in support, comes back in field for the Brazilian Paquetá instead. Now Rice will take over. Again, Brentford well grouped, well organised, with everybody back in position behind the ball. Cresswell, next goal in this game, absolutely crucial. If West Ham get it, it's game on. If Brentford score again, there will be uproar inside London Stadium. Bowen to Paquetá, right in the centre of the Brentford half, away to our left, strokes the ball out to this near side, and Emerson cuts in on his right foot. Emerson, poor low shot, blocked by Norgard, and then held clear by Janel.
Didn't really look up there, Emerson, to see what else there was on. Took a shot on with his right foot again. Bad decision. You know, there was only 2 in the box for West Ham once more.
Well, he hasn't scored in 40 Premier League games, Emerson, so why he was even contemplating taking on a shot from 30 yards is a mystery, quite frankly.
I mean, I'll come back to Antonio, who just seen going to warm up. I mean, I'm sure if the players think that this might be David Moyes, you know, he's only got a couple of games or whatever, if you're not in the starting 11, I think you'll be really hurt.
Here's Bowen on the edge of the penalty area, gets his shot away left-footed. Saved down low to the left by Raya. West Ham fans want a free kick. Referee says play on. It was positive from Jarrod Bowen as Norwich take the lead against Reading in the Championship. Adam Idar for the managerless Canaries. Norwich 1, Reading 0. We'll be back to Ali Pali very shortly as Brentford prepare to make a double change. Vitaly Janelt and Johan Wissa, who got the stoppage time winner here last season, are about to come on. That was better from Bowen, David Conley.
Yeah, it was. I'd just come back to, you know, whether those players like Antonio. If it was me, if I was David Moyes, I'd play Antonio, because I think, you know what you're going to get, and I'm sure, you know, I'll be getting him on as soon as I can now. You know, you're going for a broke here. You've got the away team making changes, and I think the onus is you now to react. And you've got Mikel Antonio there, put him on.
Right, and Burmo is the first Brentford player making way. Wissa coming on in his place, and Matthias Jensen is the player being sacrificed for Vitaly Janelt. As those changes are being made, let's get back to the darts at Ali Pali. Here's Paul Nicholson.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, an eventful second set here for Michael van Gerwen and Dirk van Duijvenbode in the second match of the evening. We did get a 170 checkout from Dirk van Duijvenbode, but it was to no avail. Van Gerwen was too strong, averaging 106 in that second set to take a 2-0 lead. So it's Van Gerwen 2, Van Duijvenbode 0.
A reminder, we will have live commentary from Ali Pali all the way up to the final, either here on Talksport 2 or on Talksport. Here's Wissa involved straight away for Brentford. Tony picks it up inside the penalty area, and it's cleared by Paquetá, who, to his credit there, David, had tracked Tony all the way.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he should be as well, because he's played so deep. I mean, he's got to be following his runners, but nonetheless, a simple throw flicked on by Brentford, and they're away. They're attacking West Ham's back line. It's been so simple for them to get out, and you know, they're a side that don't have a lot of the ball, Brentford, but they're happy with that, content with how they play. They've got threats in the front part of the pitch, so they're always a danger.
It's been just about the perfect night for the Bees so far. It's been a disastrous one if you're of West Ham persuasion. Here's De Silva, scorer of the second goal for the visitors, crosses into the area, scooped away by Ogbonna and picked up high up the field by Raya. And there's a Brentford player down holding his face. And this could be a problem. It's Mads Roroslev. Clearly some kind of off-the-ball incident. And the referee having to stop the play. So a chance for me to tell you exactly what we've got coming up over the next few days on Talksport. Skamaka has actually lashed out at Roroslev. He ran across the line of the Italian forward. That, when you raise your hand, David Conley, that usually means trouble.
Yeah. Could be a potential red here. I mean, Roroslev has a little look at
Skamaka. It's a slap, isn't it, from Skamaka?
Yeah, from behind. Skamaka certainly does raise his arm in the face of
Roroslev.
We'll
be checking it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, live on Talksport, a Premier League doubleheader, 12:30. We're at Molineux. Wolves against Manchester United, followed at 3 o'clock by Manchester City against Everton. More live Premier League football on Monday night. Brentford in action again, 5:30 against Liverpool. That's followed by Queen's Park Rangers, Sheffield United from the Championship at 8 o'clock. On Tuesday we have Manchester United, Bournemouth. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Talksport. And your choice of listening on Wednesday, David Connolly and myself will be at St Mary's. Southampton take on Nottingham Forest at 7:30 here on Talksport 2. On Talksport at 7:45 there's a Midlands derby between Aston Villa and Wolves, and then lots of FA Cup third round action starting on Friday night with a repeat of the 1995 FA Cup final. It's Manchester United against Everton. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff. Well, I think Skamaka is rather fortunate to escape punishment, David.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe a bit of frustration as well in that challenge, but West Ham have got to play it down now too.
Brentford are playing on. Tony looking for Wissa, who's a real buzzing bee, having come off the bench, the Congolese forward. Rico Henry back to me on the halfway line. Ben Rama is gingerly getting back to his feet. We've played 62 minutes. It's West Ham 0, Brentford 2 in this London derby. Liverpool lead Leicester by 2-1 over on Talksport. Nogbona just about gets there ahead of Tony as the ball was scooped into the area, and Fabianski has to come sliding to keep it in play.
Yeah, I mean, there is no time for Ben Rama to be lying down, you know, with a touch of something, a little touch, a little kick or whatever. Eventually gets to his feet, and there need some worries out there, need some characters too. And they are going to turn to the bench. It looks like Mikel Antonio is
Well, I'm
stripped.
amazed it's taken until the 63rd minute for David Moyes to make that call, I have to be honest.
Well, we said at half-time there might be 10-15 minutes, so it's a little bit over that. He's making a change, but I'd have had Antonio put in from the start, I think, and especially in a game where you're under so much pressure. I think he's been brilliant for David Moyes, Antonio.
The goals have dried up of late, though, for Mikel Antonio, converted into that number 9 by David Moyes. Only scored 6 times in his last 43 Premier League appearances, and that poor run in front of goal has coincided with West Ham's plummet down towards the wrong end of the table. Wissa trying to turn away from Ben Rama inside the centre circle. I've been really impressed with Wissa since he has come off the bench in this second half, and he's played it back there to Pinnock, and now it's with Raya inside the penalty area away to our left. It's currently West Ham 0, Brentford 2. For the latest odds, head to 888 Sport, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage. I'll give you the odds in a moment because Tony has put a cross into the area. He's put it straight into the arms of Fabianski. If you think West Ham will score the next goal, they're available at 8-11, 2-1 for Brentford to make it 3-0. For the game to finish 2-0, you can get 3-1. That's all thanks to 888 Sport, made to challenge, made to debate, made to play, 18+, begambleaware.org.
Well, I tell you what, that attack for Brentford, you know, Ivan Toney, brilliant run into the channel, and then he's tried the outside of the boot cross into the box, and really Rico Hemi made a great run on the underlap. He could have just fed it to him, so that was a shame. And then when Fabianski had it in hands, he could have got it in motion quickly forward. He could have bowled it into the front. Instead, he took a little short throw, I think, to Dawson. He didn't know what was around him, and you could hear the fans' reaction, not happy.
No, there are lots of dissenting voices now inside London Stadium. I think when we were enjoying our pre-match chilly in the press room, we were saying this could turn toxic tonight. It is threatening to do so with West Ham 2-0 down. Mikel Antonio has come on to replace Emerson. That's a progressive move from David Moyes. A desperate move to try and get his team somehow back in this game. They've only got 25 minutes. They need to muster at least 2 goals to salvage a draw.
Yeah, I mean, with his starting team, David Moyes, it meant if he was going to make changes, it would mean a change of shape, because you can't have Cresswell and Emerson in the same sort of team. So
pass from Antonio too far ahead of Skamaka. More jeers from the home supporters as Derby County take the lead against Cambridge in League One. Lewis Dobbin with the goal. 12 minutes in the second half. It's now Lincoln 1, Bolton 1. Owen Toole with the equaliser in that game, and the leaders in the Championship in front again away from home. Stoke 0, Burnley 1. Josh Cullen with the goal for the Clarets.
Now they've changed shape, gone with this back four. It looks like Antonio and Skamaka as a front two. They've got to be brave because, you know, Declan Rice has got to push higher up the pitch to press on Norgard. It means one of the centre-halves has got to come out of their slot. You know, things have got to adapt. They can't just go, right, there's two up top and get on with it. It means other players have got to change what they do as well and just be a bit braver and go for it.
More activity on the Brentford bench. I can see another B sub about to come on. The West Ham fans trying to inject some positive energy into proceedings. Ben Rama wriggling into space on the edge of the area, linking up with Cresswell. It's Saman Godosh, the Iran World Cup player, who will be coming on. A shot from a long way out from Dawson, never really troubling David Raya. It's wide for a goal kick.
Goodness me, they do all that. They drag Brentford really narrow. Craig Dawson ventures forwards to the centre half. You think, don't shoot from there, 25 yards out, feed it wide, then get it in the box. And he shoots. I mean, goodness me. I think Craig's great from set pieces, but not from 25 yards out.
Josh De Silva, score of the second Brentford goal in the final minute of normal time at the end of the first half, is making way for Godosh. Made one appearance in Qatar. The number 14 for Brentford, so fresh legs in midfield. Josh De Silva gets a pat on the back from Thomas Frank's backroom team. It's been a good shift from him. It's been a good shift from Brentford in East London. They lead by 2-0, and we played 67 minutes on Talksport 2.
Well, let me tell you, when Brentford were in the Championship, he absolutely destroyed Newcastle in the Cup. De Silva, you know, he was outstanding, and he is a top player. Spent a lot of time out injured, hasn't he? But when he's fit, goodness me, he's got everything. He was superb. Scored a great goal. Great goal.
It's now 29 Premier League games since De Silva lasted the full 90 minutes, having come off with a quarter of this one to play. Punt forward from Fabianski over the head of Antonio. And now David Raya, all in orange, away to our left, clears the ball right-footed for Brentford. And you can sense the frustration now, David Connolly, amongst the home supporters.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, they want a response. You know, certainly need to be brave now, go forward, try and get something, get a goal. Just get a goal, get back something to get back in the game.
Remember, they've lost their last 4 in the Premier League, not 5 in a row since Slaven Bilic was manager some 5 years ago. As Declan Rice brings it forward towards the penalty area. Sofal with a cross from the right in towards Antonio. He climbed above Pinnock, but he was all over the Brentford defender, and it will be a free kick for the Bees inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, the cross was just a little bit too high for him. He had his arms over his ankle, it looked like, at the back post. But at least they had 4 players in the box there, West Ham, so that's a vast improvement.
Yeah, extra bodies now for West Ham, in dire need of a goal, in dire need of 2 goals, in dire need of 3 really. I'm sure they take a point now from what looks a fairly perilous position. Here is the green-booted Wisser in the right-wing position for Brentford. Down the line he goes. Godosh with a low cross, blocked by Cresswell. He's out for a throw. Interesting that Thomas Souček has been left in reserve by David Moyes. That's a change that a lot of West Ham fans have been calling out for some time now.
If you need a goal, you know, maybe in seasons past Souček would have provided it, but as it is, I mean, look, Brentford now got the throw. They don't have Matthias Jensen to launch this in the box, so might do something a little bit different here.
Zanka has come forward to take it down by the right corner flag. Again, he goes all the way back to the edge of the playing surface, hurls it towards the near post, and it was a diving header away by Ogbonna. Only Ben Rama to chase the loose ball for West Ham, and it's comfortably played back to David Raya, the goalkeeper. Raya forward towards Rorslev, beats Cresswell in the air. The loose ball falls kindly for Paquetá, but he was out-muscled, and then as Visser tried to make his way into the area, he was body checked by Sofal. The yellow card for the fullback, despite his protest of innocence, and it will be a Brentford free kick within shooting range. I think Ben Mee is asking, could that be a red?
I don't think so. I mean, it just looked like Visser just got on the inside of Soufal. That happened with the goal for Cresswell, didn't it? As the ball turned over, I don't know, was that a foul? It just seemed like a bit of a strong arm across Visser. I'm not so sure.
Just a reminder of the big breaking news from the world of transfers. Cristiano Ronaldo has agreed a deal now with Al Nassr. He will be playing in Saudi Arabia very shortly. A huge money contract. Not quite the Champions League club that he was coveting in the summer, but Ronaldo has certainly added a few extra millions to his bank balance with that transfer. What can Brentford do with a free kick here at London Stadium? Janelt and Tony stood over the ball. It's no more than 4 yards outside the box. Fabianski at the moment is gravitating towards his near right-hand post. I think Ivan Toney is going to fancy his chances here.
Well, we've seen this before, haven't we? Banging them in from free kicks, Ivan.
And he scored once already tonight, Ivan Toney. Creator for De Silva's second. Right-footed shot into the wall, blocked to the edge of the area, and the follow-up from Godosh is tipped past the post by Fabianski. That was so close to 3-0, it's a brilliant save.
Yeah, it is. On the reaction, I was going to sound a free kick, Ivan, that's terrible, but that would have been one of your lines.
I'll do the jokes. You stick to the punditry. That's a really good piece of goalkeeping though from Fabianski, because he didn't have too much time to react. It was well struck on the volley into the ground, bouncing awkwardly. It was nestling in the corner, and he was at full stretch there, the veteran, to turn it behind. It's Brentford's first corner of the game. It's going to be taken from the right-hand side by Godosh. Good delivery all the way across the box, and then hooked over the crossbar.
Unmarked.
Ivan Toney has missed an absolute sitter.
Well, I mean, it was awkward. It bounced really high, so he had to try and lift his leg and get over the ball. But nonetheless, I mean, how can you leave him unmarked? Completely unmarked at the back post.
Tell you what, David Connolly in his prime puts that one in the roof of the net, and it's 3-0 to Brentford.
Goodness me. I mean, look, they won the flick on again, and we saw that against Tottenham, what a threat they are on these corners.
West Ham look all over the place. Rorisler chips it towards the area. Dawson has to head it back into his own box. Will come down for Tony. He's got options arriving. Janelt can't get the shot away at the near post. Tony still has time inside the area. A little back heel into Janelt, who was offside. Although the flag has stayed down and Brentford are still playing on here. Tony on the edge of the area. Forward into Rico Henry. And he prods it forward towards Wissa. Well, they were queuing up. In the end, Declan Rice has got it away. But surely West Ham had to clear the danger sooner.
Well, maybe Ivan Toney could have got his shot off sooner. They look like they're enjoying themselves out there, Brentford. I've got to say, they're enjoying being 2-0 up, away crowd, you know, Silenson being in the lines then. And, you know, certainly they're playing very, very well with the ball, Brentford.
Well, they did a double over West Ham last season. And they are only 17 minutes away from another victory against their London neighbours. Declan Rice out to the right-hand side. Soufal with a chance to cross. Good delivery, but again headed away by Pinnock.
Great header, wasn't it?
They've defended stoutly when they've had to, Brentford. Ben Rama into the box, flicked on by Antonio. Bowen was flying in at the far post, couldn't get there. It's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's unlucky. It was unlucky, you know, at least they look like much more of a threat now of Antonio on the pitch. A couple of good balls in the box, whereas in the first half they weren't getting anywhere near or close to them. Now they certainly look like they're getting closer.
Well, as well as losing their last 4 Premier League games, they've lost their last 2 here at London Stadium. West Ham only once since making the controversial defection from the Bowling Ground. They lost 3 on the spin. It's going to be some comeback in the final 16 minutes if David Moyes managed to avert that this evening. Free kick for a foul on Norgard, being held onto by Declan Rice. It's another night when the game has rather passed Declan Rice by. Hasn't looked the same player this season that was so sought after in the summer. And you wonder if as look likely he does move on at the end of this campaign, if it will be for a much lower transfer fee than maybe West Ham were anticipating not that long ago, David.
Maybe. And also, you know, Mark Noble starts work, doesn't he, in a couple of days' time as a new sporting director, so...
Can he bring his boots?
Yeah. Well, you know, he might have decisions to make.
Scamacca with a shot from the edge of the area. It was moving viciously, and it was an uncomfortable save from David Raya, but a save he made nonetheless.
Yeah, was a good save, straight down his throat, but first strike of real note from Scamacca.
West Ham 0, Brentford 2 on Talksport. Liverpool lead Leicester by 2-1. Over on Talksport. You're listening to Talksport 2 at London Stadium.
What a dreadful pass though from Paqueta. I mean, he's rifled that into Ben Rama, but it's not on the deck where he controls it. He's kind of fired it at his throat as he's trying to play a little give and go, a little 1-2. I mean, if the only parallel I can think of, look at Newcastle at the weekend where Almiron plays a little give and go and it's on the deck and it's in his path. Ben Rama's tried the same there, and Paqueta's just fired it at his throat.
Time running out for West Ham. Tony brought down by Paqueta. Referee says play on because Brentford still have the ball. Tony is not yet back to his feet. Norgard has given it away, and here's Mikel Antonio bearing down on the penalty area. I think he kicked in air on the edge of the box, Antonio. That sums it up for West Ham. They've still got the ball. Scamacca with a long range effort, and that's well wide.
I mean, look, Miguel's just got to keep it. I mean, a former teammate of mine, Miguel, played with him at Southampton, so I'm a big believer in his, and he's just got to brush that off. I thought his initial part in terms of working the opening was really, really good. Shrugged a few players off, and it just hit his standing foot. But he'll shrug it off. Come on, just get on with it. And they're getting closer, West Ham. You can feel something might be coming.
Mikel Antonio making his 250th West Ham appearance, but that wasn't one of his finest moments. David Moyes has spent the majority of this second half rooted to the edge of his technical area. It's not going to be an easy post-match interview unless West Ham can find some magic late in this game. 77 minutes gone. West Ham 0, Brentford 2. Both goals in the first half. Ivan Toney on 18 minutes and Josh Da Silva in the final minute of regulation time. Here's Norgard for Brentford, who look at danger every time they come forward. Cross from the left over the head of Wissa. Might come down for Roreslev. Cushions it back. It was going to fall for Toney. And Wissa rather took it away from his strike partner. It was a tame shot in the end from the Congolese into the arms of Fabianski.
Just lacked the power, but that came from Craig Dawson, just trying to be a little bit too clever.
Here comes Ben Rama for West Ham.
Too obvious.
Well played, Godosh. Just showed
too
him.
Obvious.
To the touchline, it's behind for a corner, goal kick.
Yeah, he's bearing down on Godos, and he does the right. He's playing on the left. He's a sort of right foot. He does a right foot step over and then takes it away with the left down the line. And Godos knows exactly what he's going to do. Reads it, gets his body there, and stops the threat.
Swansea 2, Watford 0 in the Championship. Liam Cullen has got the second for the Swans, and Lincoln 1-1 against Bolton, but Lincoln down to 10 men. Joe Walsh has been sent off in League One. Let's get back to Ali Pali and another update from the World Darts Championship. We'll go there in a moment, actually, because Brentford are coming forward with Norgard. Rice has won it back in midfield, but only momentarily. Here's Janel for the Bees, out to the left-hand side, and Tony dropping deep into midfield. And now it's out on the left-hand side with Rico Henry linking up with Tony. Tony does well to keep it in play. Across comes Cresswell, concedes a throw, level with the 18-yard line. Just had a shot at our monitor of a rather unhappy-looking David Sullivan. You didn't think David Connolly, whatever happened tonight, he would have a big call to make in terms of the managerial situation. Do you stand by that?
Yeah, I do. But I know as a journalist you're going to mix it up a little bit, aren't you? That's your job.
And there will be a lot of West Ham fans asking that very same question. The Hammers are 11 minutes away from 5 successive Premier League defeats, and if results don't go their way over the course of this weekend, they could find themselves in the bottom 3. Let's get back to Alexandra Palace. Here's Paul Nicholson.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, a brief fight back from Dirk van Dijvenbode in set number 3. He played really well to bring it back to 2-1 to Michael van Gerwen. but a really poor performance in set 4 from the man called the Oba Genius, and the number 3 seed Michael van Gerwen, the favourite for the title, takes set number 4, and he now leads by 3 sets to 1.
There's West Ham trying to hit the bullseye here. Skamaka. Paquetá out to Ben Rama on the left-hand side. Ben Rama finds Paquetá on the edge of the D. Now into the feet of Cresswell. Again, Brentford have got plenty of black jerseys back, defending their own box. Janelt has not made the best connection with the clearance. It's bouncing dangerously inside the box, but cleared away by Zanka. Here's Paquetá again for West Ham. A goal for the home side now, and we'll be in for a grandstand finish on Talksport 2, but it's Brentford looking dangerous as the ball is chipped forward to Wissa, trying to isolate Ogbonna. Tony is bursting forward belatedly in support. Oh, Wissa almost picked out Janelt inside the area, just over the head of the German, and safely collected by Fabianski. From a neutral perspective, this has been a fascinating evening. I'm not sure many West Ham fans will have enjoyed the commentary, and a lot of them are now heading home, streaming out the stadium.
They are, in their droves, certainly in front of us.
So far with a chance to cross from the right-hand side, taking on Rico Henry, who's had an excellent game, blocks the cross, out for a corner. 9 minutes to go. West Ham 0, Brentford 2 on Talksport 2. Liverpool still leading Leicester 2-1 over on Talksport. What a brilliant night it's been. Corner from the far side for West Ham, placed down by Bowen. Boy, do West Ham need a bit of magic. In comes the corner. Dawson with a header, acrobatically tipped over the bar by a leaping Raya. That was just sneaking in under the crossbar.
Yeah, good header from Dawson. Deep delivery. We spoke about his threat. You know, Dawson at set pieces. Don't know why he's shooting from 25 yards, but he's a lot more threatening from 5 and 6 like that. That was unlucky.
Bowen with the corner again. Same side. Same player picked out, Dawson. But this time the header is wide via a deflection, and West Ham have a third corner.
Well, they're going to look
the spin.
They're going to try and get Thomas Souček on here for this corner.
Birmingham 0, Hull 1. Oscar Estupiñán has scored for Hull, and Joel Perreault has got the third for Swansea. Thomas Souček is on for the final 8 minutes of the game, and he will provide a bit of an aerial threat as Paquetá makes his way off. Another disappointing performance from the Brazilian. Towards the far post, the corner. Bowen couldn't bring it down. In fact, the referee has stopped play.
Ball's gone out from the corner when Cresswell swung it out off the pitch before it came back in. What a waste. You bring Souček on, especially for that corner, and then he can't keep the ball on the pitch. So frustrating.
Stevenage are now 3-0 up on Crawley. Get the vice chairman off the bench. That's what I say. Can he play up front? Ridiculous. 7 minutes to go here. West Ham 0, Brentford 2. Raucous Brentford fans, disconsolate West Ham supporters heading for home. They've seen enough. There's Brentford in possession with Pinnock at the heart of their back line. Now Zanka. Zanka scoops a ball forward, looking for Rorislev on this near side, but it's trickled out of play for a throw. You're listening to West Ham against Brentford on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Is there a fire drill? Seeing the Brentford fans taunting their West Ham counterparts. It's been another miserable evening in this rapidly unravelling season for West Ham. No team in the Premier League have lost more games, even before tonight, than David Moyes' men. Looks like being a bleak winter ahead. Here's Ben Rama down the left-hand side. Cresswell's delivery headed away by Pinnock, and now Wissa in the lime green footwear picks it up inside his own half. Look to release Godosh down the right-hand side. Overhit the pass, is out for a throw. Reading have equalised. Andy Carroll from the penalty spot. Norwich 1, Reading 1. Doesn't get any easier for the Canaries in the Championship. West Ham attack down their right. Bowen coming infield on his left foot, trying to dink it towards the far post. It's over hit, and more groans of disgust from the West Ham fans as yet more home supporters make their way out of London Stadium. David Moyes stares forlornly at the floor.
Yeah, I mean, he'll certainly be expecting better from Jared Bowen there, especially when they had the box loaded. Put too much on the cross. We've seen, we kind of said that so often tonight. Deliveries in the box have been dreadful.
5 minutes to the 90 to play. It's West Ham 0, Brentford 2. It's been a really depressing night for West Ham. It's been another excellent one for Brentford, who are quietly having a very good season.
I mean, they had a sticky patch last season, if you recall as well, Alex. You know, they were sinking like a stone, to be honest, and then turned it around in the final few weeks. So, I mean, they know as well how it can go. Such a difficult league, the Premier League, but certainly they're enjoying themselves at the minute.
Where are West Ham going to find their Christian Eriksen in this January transfer window?
Yeah, that is going to be a challenge for them. I mean, I think they would have hoped they would have signed him amongst the 8 players that they did bring in, but...
Here's Antonio, dispossessed by Godosh, chip forward, looking for Wisser. Ogbonna reads it well and heads the ball down towards Cresswell in the left-back position. West Ham 0, Brentford 2, 4 minutes of the 90 remaining here on Talksport 2. Declan Rice plays the ball infield to Souček for West Ham. Now Cresswell in the left wing position, slows the game down to a walking pace. Again, Brentford well organised. Souček squeezes the ball beyond Tony and into the stride of Dawson. Souček over on the right hand side, back into Dawson again, who's going to clip this ball in right footed, headed away by Zanka on the edge of the area. Tony can't get the beating of Dawson. He goes down looking for a free kick. Referee had a good view of it and said play on. Rice looking for Skamaka, steered away by Zanka. Then Tony again is beaten to the loose ball by Dawson. It's been a good battle between those two. Here's Ben Rama down by the left corner flag for the Hammers, picking out Rice on the edge of the area. Cresswell with a deep cross towards the far post. Antonio nods it down. It's half cleared by Wisser and then volleyed away by Tony.
It's just not falling for them, is it? Ball in the box, it breaks on the edge, and there's no one really there for West Ham. They just seem to be in the wrong place at the minute. Just not quite falling.
Rice arrows a pass out to the right hand side, chested down neatly by Sofal. Antonio peeling away to the right wing position, looking to take on me. Antonio lays it off to Sofal, crosses into the area, headed away by Rohrslev. It was a good header facing his own goal, kept in play by Cresswell on the near side. Here's Rice now, 7 or 8 yards outside the area, scooping cross towards the far post. Good goalkeeping. David Raya climbing highest inside the 18-yard box and collecting the ball cleanly inside the white gloves.
Yeah, I mean, good catch, but something you'd expect him to make. I mean, it's catch and practice like something you'd have in the warm-up, to be honest. That ball in from Declan Rice, disappointing, far too close to the goalkeeper, the Brentford keeper.
Crawley have got a goal back at Stevenage. Dominic Telford from the penalty spot, 3-1. The home side lead in League 2, 2-0. Brentford lead away from home here at London Stadium. Ogbonna plays it down the line to Cresswell for West Ham. They are running out of time here to get back in the game. Ben Rama against his former club plays the ball infield to Rice. Rice midway inside Brentford territory, out to Sofal, who crosses, but Brentford have dealt with those all night long, and it's headed away to this near side, and Ben Rama who keeps it in play. Ben Rama into the feet of Rice, 6 yards outside the box. Everybody bar Fabianski inside the Brentford half of the field. Ogbonna into Dawson. West Ham trying to pick their way through. Bowen finds Antonio, right corner of the 18-yard box. Now Sofal in space. Can he get a cross away? Yes, he can. Deflected behind by Henry, and West Ham have their 8th corner of the evening.
Yeah, and the last time they had one, Dawson nearly scored, so this could be promising.
Swansea 4, Watford 0. Joel Latibeaudiere, 3 minutes from time. It's good night for the Swans. Russell Martin, their manager, linked with a possible move to Norwich as the corner is swung in by West Ham. Dawson arrived to meet it, couldn't make a clean connection, and it's swirled behind for a goal kick. And Ivan Toney is down inside the area. Looks like he needs some treatment. Let's get back to Ali Pally. It's all over. Paul Nicholson.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, it is all over in the second match, and Michael van Gerwen too strong on this occasion, averaging over 100 for the 5 sets played. He had his biggest finish of the entire match with his last 3 darts as well. 120 taken out with treble 20, 20 and tops. Ultimately, Van Gerwen just too strong for his Dutch counterpart. Van Gerwen 4, Van Duijvenbode 1.
Well, this is quite alarming for Brentford. Ivan Toney, in trying to clear the corner, has landed awkwardly, and you can see David as he lies on the floor, he's beating the turf in pain. 4 added minutes have been put up on the electronic board. I think there'll be a few more now. And what do you make of this with Ivan Toney?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Brentford fans will be concerned, and as his manager and teammates. Fingers crossed he will be okay. I mean, Mark Warburton just walked past us, who joined the West Ham staff. You know, Alan Irvine left and Stuart Pearce left. Mark Warburton came in, and I mean, he had a face like thunder. No surprise, really.
West Ham 0, Brentford 2. We're into stoppage time at the end of the 90, and the London Stadium is 3/4 empty. So many empty seats around this bowl of an arena.
I mean, if you want to get a decent train home, you've got to get going here, haven't you? You know, I'm trying to defend them, but you know, it is a fair stretch, and you know, defence, Christmas, etc., and probably want to watch a repeat on telly rather than the last 20 minutes here.
Well, none of the Brentford fans are leaving early, and they are looking on with concern as Toney is still down receiving treatment. The stretcher is on, and he looks in absolute despair. Ivan Toney, scorer of 1 goal, had a hand in the second for Josh Da Silva, but this looks like it could be quite a serious injury for Ivan Toney, and that is really bad news for Brentford.
Well, the stretcher is just on the side of the pitch. Is it going to make its way on? It is, in the little buggy. Fingers crossed he is okay. I mean, Craig Dawson, nice touch, just giving Ivan Toney an arm.
Well, they've got a replacement ready in the form of Pontus Jansson, so a defender coming on for a centre forward, but
well, he is no replacement, is he, in the long term? I mean, yeah, that is the one player that they can't replace, Ivan Toney. So
this is a sour note to end what's been a good night for Brentford. No wins in 6 London derbies this season before this game, but they're going to end that hoodoo. Ivan Toney has been down now for a good 3 minutes, and the medics taking no chances as they slowly try and put him onto the stretcher. And just watching a replay now, he leapt on the edge of the 6-yard box, he tried to clear it away. It looks innocuous enough, David Connolly, but it's the right knee, I think, is it?
I think it's the landing. He lands on one leg, which maybe, I don't know, might be the angle, but yeah, it's innocuous, and sometimes those ones are the ones that you worry about. Fingers crossed it isn't serious. Maybe it's just precautionary.
Well, he's on the stretcher now. Ivan Toney is still covering his face with his left arm. He still looks in an awful lot of discomfort as the stretcher is loaded onto the buggy.
Oh, good. Would you take your chances on that buggy on a stretcher? I'm not sure I would. I think I'd rather be carried.
And he's being strapped in. Well, Ivan Toney.
A few straps on that.
No, thoughts are with him as Brentford prepare to make the change. Pontus Jansson himself has been out since early October, came on as a sub in that 2-2 draw against Brentford on Boxing Day. He gets a warm ovation, Ivan Toney, from the away fans to our right, but this does not look good at all for Brentford's talismanic striker. It was his goal on 18 minutes that broke the deadlock. Josh Da Silva doubling the Bees' lead. Officially, the 4 added minutes have already expired, but they will be added on at the end of stoppage time now as Tony makes his way straight down the tunnel on that stretcher on top of the buggy. And you can see from his reaction, Ivan Toney, he thinks this is quite serious.
Oh, that's worrying for him, yeah. Hopefully it's not. Sometimes you think the worst, you know, because then you hope it's maybe not as bad as you think. Let's hope it's one of them.
Well, they were looking already at the Coventry forward, Victor Gyökeres, Brentford, as a potential January signing. I wonder if their need for reinforcements has just become that much more desperate. 2-0, they lead here. They will be up to 9th in the Premier League table tonight, sitting pretty. Decent gap between them and the relegation places for West Ham. It's a completely different tale of woe. I guess the one saving grace for David Moyes and his players is that there's hardly enough fans in here to boo when the full-time whistle is blown. And it's a very sorry sight for the home team. Cresswell out to the left and Ben Rama. Seen plenty of the ball, West Ham, over the course of the 90 minutes, but barring the acrobatic save that Raya made from the header from Dawson, I can't remember the goalkeeper being seriously troubled on too many occasions in this second half.
No, and Brentford aren't bothered really if you have more of the ball. I mean, you know, what, they're probably touching close to 70% or 65, something like that, West Ham, but you know, Brentford are used to that. That's how they play now.
Here's Godosh making his way towards the halfway line. Rice gets there ahead of him, but still the Bees in possession with the man who's just come on, Janssen. He is actually playing in a more advanced position, but he got a nosebleed there, Janssen, as he tried to play it forward and it's out for a goal kick.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's certainly not a replacement for him, is he? Make no mistake. But
I don't think that's the answer if Ivan Toney is out for any period of time, do you?
I mean, he's a similar size, that's I think where the similarity ends.
Ball is with Angelo Ogbonna. We're into the 7th minute of added on time at the end of the 90 here on Talksport 2. It's still West Ham 0, Brentford 2. As the Hammers come forward down their right, any goal for the home side now surely no more than a consolation effort. Rice into Cresswell, who for me still has a lot to answer for in terms of that second Brentford goal scored by De Silva. Just gave up tracking his man. Ben Rama dinks it in towards the D on the edge of the area, but Brentford have it back with Wissa. Trying a bit too much of it to Bowen, and here's Antonio just inside the box. Antonio shoots right-footed, blocked by Me, who's had an excellent game, the Brentford defender, and it's picked up by Antonio now in the right wing position. Cross into the area, headed away by the leaping Pinnock. Into the 8th added minute we go. Still no real sign of any West Ham recovery at London Stadium. Antonio down by the right corner flag, crossing towards the near post into the arms of Raya. The referee's had a look at his watch, and West Ham are about to be put out of their misery here. The reaction from those West Ham fans that have stayed in their seats will be one, I'm sure, of vitriol towards David Moyes. Pressure mounting on an already under fire manager as the full-time whistle goes and the boos ring out again. For the first time in 5 years, West Ham have lost 5 successive Premier League games. For only the second time, they've lost 3 on the spin at London Stadium. All eyes now on Messrs Gold and Sullivan. Will they keep faith with David Moyes, or is a change needed to keep West Ham in the Premier League? Brentford up to the dizzying heights of 9th, courtesy of first half goals from Ivan Toney and Josh De Silva. The only negative for them, the sight of Toney being carried off on a stretcher late in the game after landing awkwardly, defending a corner in his own box. I'm not sure that West Ham fans will be particularly pleased to see Mikel Antonio sharing a joke with David Raya at full time, because this is no laughing matter. The Hammers on their uppers again. It's finished West Ham 0, Brentford 2.
Alex Crook, thank you. Over on Talksport at Anfield, still Liverpool 2, Leicester City 1. In the final 10 minutes of the action on Merseyside. Success for Brentford then on the road. They're in the top 10 tonight. West Ham may well fall into the Premier League's bottom 3 this weekend at 2-0. Some Hammers fans left and never returned on the hour mark. their patience snapped. We had to wait over an hour to see Mikel Antonio introduced tonight. Not many fans left at the full-time whistle at all. I must have missed the fire alarm that went off. David Sullivan is still here to see West Ham suffer a 5th straight Premier League defeat. That form, Dave Conley, means nowadays you have to question futures. I'm just stating how the game is right now. Isn't it? 5 straight defeats.
Yeah.
The manager often won't walk away from that, right?
Well, I mean, he's made a stern staff and he's got a thick skin, David. So he'll keep going, that's for sure, until he's told, otherwise. As it is, that game against Leeds away takes on even more significance. Before, obviously, they played Brentford again, but. Look, they gave away 2 really, really bad goals, and there was no real response in the second half. I've got to be honest.
We began the night questioning David Moyes' future. He insists he'll have time. Okay, let's look at it like this. What you look out for is, has he lost the dressing room? Are they still delivering for him? Are they delivering what he's asking for? Is he getting key decisions right? Well, is he ticking enough of those boxes for Sullivan and Gold here at the London Stadium to say, OK, we will give you until January at the very least, maybe some further help in the transfer window to try and turn this around?
Yeah, I mean, look, he tried to change things in terms of the way they played the game, changed shape, dropped a couple of players. They started very well, so you could say it seemed to do the trick until they conceded a bad goal, and then they didn't really recover, conceded another really bad goal. He then went, and changed shape again to his usual formation. They didn't really look like scoring, to be honest, and there was a lot of players that are performing, well below the level that they need to perform at, certainly to pick up points in the run they're in and show a little bit of character. Arguably, you'd say whoever he plays at the minute is not scoring, whether it's Antonio or Scamacca. Is Ben Rama delivering? No.
Delivering, yeah.
Paqueta? No. The cross in the box from wide. Fullbacks have been really poor. You can.
I know it's not easy for you, Dave, to see a former club struggling. David Moyes, someone you respect, struggling. But the West Ham fans have made their minds up, haven't they? And I find it when you hear that and you see mass exodus before the full-time whistle on the hour mark. Some left at half-time. It's very difficult then to turn it around.
Yeah, it is, because I think I saw a stat, and I'm not a big stat man, but I saw somewhere that his last games, 23 games, have yielded less points than Manuel Pellegrini's last 23. A lot less now. I think 6 points less or something like that. Someone will correct me. But anyway, the point being that he's on a run of form which has led to managers in the past at West Ham losing their job. So I am sure that he's wary of that, but he'll continue until things change. What you're asking is, and the fans are wondering, and maybe David Sullivan, are things going to change on the pitch? Have we seen any signs of recovery there? Well, first 30 minutes, I thought they played pretty well. Start of the second half, I thought they started pretty well. Nearly close to getting a penalty. Would that have been any different? But you would say that, just not enough, really. It just didn't do enough as a home team. They continue
to fall the wrong side of the fine margins, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Balls are breaking, they're not quite there. I don't think they have enough players in the box. I think they don't craft enough. I don't think they have maybe enough guile in around the penalty area against tight defences, because what they're facing with a side like Brentford coming here is a back 3 / back 5. Have you got enough to break us down? If you're going to cross from wide, we've got enough players here to deal with it. What else have you got? And tonight, they didn't have a lot.
Well, a word on Brentford, who took their chances, took the lead against the run of play, then well organised, as you rightly said, Dave, stood up to the obstacles they faced tonight at the London Stadium. There's no doubt in that, but a major sour moment. Ivan Toney stretched it off.
Oh yeah, well, let's hope that this is not as serious as it looks.
Yeah,
and he was worried, and that worries you as a person, because you want him to be fit and available and doing what he does best out there, playing football. So our thoughts are with him, and fingers crossed he's okay.
Time now for us to pick our man of the match with Car Finance 24/7.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Our match summarises tonight the former West Ham, Republic of Ireland international striker Dave Conley. Dave, who gets the nod for you?
I think it's got to be Ivan. Scored one, he had a hand in the second. he did a decent job up there. He was a threat. I mean, there was a couple of other players I thought Ben Mee was outstanding for them at the back. There was a few others you could have picked out as well, but I'll probably play it safe and go with Ivan.
Ivan Toney, our man of the match tonight at the London Stadium. With Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. We search a panel of lenders to find you the best deal. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
My thanks to Alex Crook, to Dave Connolly for their top work tonight here on Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. West Ham lose again. David Moyes under increasing pressure at the London Stadium. A 5th straight Premier League defeat now for West Ham.